Ain't that crazy? 65 degrees into fucking snow. Like, what is going on?
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed.
Can't quit, Bort.
We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To play, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
I don't know what happened on last night's video. Overnight, it got like fucking 1,500 views. You guys buying bots? What y'all doing? Everybody else says, fuck it. If you got deep pockets and want to invest in some bots, hit it up. Everybody else is fucking doing it. 99%. I found the pawn shop board is using to pawn stuff. All right. When you head over there to make a purchase. I was looking for a clip of Upchurch earlier. Upchurch come out full Nazi. Upchurch came out full Nazi. Before I've been like, oh, he's racist. He's kind of a piece of shit. He's talking this shit. He came out and said that the Nazis are the only ones that want to do something about, he said, oh, does this make me a Nazi? I don't know. But the Nazis are the only ones that want to do something about pedophiles. Oh, and my boys that are Black Panthers. So he shared a video the other day of like some Black Panthers and some legit like cosplay Nazis walking down the streets bitching about Jews. He thinks the Jews have to do with Epstein and the pedophiles and all that stuff. So he legit just come out and said he's a Nazi. Like it, usually don't see somebody that brazen. Then he started sharing a bunch of AI images of like these like short, thick, like Nazi girls, clearly AI, right? Clearly AI, but they got like, I don't know, like Iron Falcons and crosses and shit, tattoos, and they're in Nazi uniforms. But the problem is it's all in his Instagram story, and an Instagram story goes away in 24 hours. I know somebody's clipped it. I just haven't found out who yet. They have to have it, right? Yeah, he didn't leave anything on to be questioned, right? He wasn't subtle about it. He was just like, yeah, I guess so, because I'm against pedophiles, so I guess I'm a Nazi. I don't know. It was wild to me, but maybe you guys kind of saw it coming already. like everybody else in the world, I guess. Anyways, I started Facebook while we were chit-chatting, so we should be able to go. Also, whoever bought the bots on last night's show, thank you.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome, everybody. I am Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Welcome. Shout out to Codename Narc and Jason Pote, the trucker's coach. I don't know if Gotcha Man grabbed it or not. I think these are all too old. He hasn't made anything recently. I had a
harder time understanding Jerry, and that's kind of my side job.
Yeah, that's not it. I saw that one. And he's got some really good videos on Ryan. With two of his really good one, if you're interested in them, is this You're Busted? Hold on, I'll show you. It's every time that Ryan's said that someone offended him in some way and he's going to take them down or get them arrested or they're going to jail or the FBI or Donald Trump's going to come get whatever. This is it. Watch. This is part 2. It's a 2-part series. Touring is an endless revenue stream. That's why people tour into their 70s. I was under the impression that, a record label will write you a bunch of money, right, for your albums and whatever, and usually they have a pretty high percentage of your royalties. But when you go on when they're on tour, not only are they making a ton of money, but they, as long as you got name recognition, right, not only they make a ton of money, but they make greater percentages of the tour money than they do of like selling albums. Is that true?
What are you guys just hanging out there on the tripod, waiting for episode 2?
All the merch is yours?
Actually.
Yes. Okay.
This thing used to be a real bitch to get.
I've just heard, the only reason I never checked into this, because why would I? But I've just heard people bitch about how much they make on their albums versus, or on their how many plays or Spotify plays or whatever, versus how much they make when they're on tour.
The phone to stay in, but the other night when I was making a video eating sweet and sour chicken, it fell over into the...
I want to see some clips on... Oh, here's some clips of Ryan busting everybody. You're busted.
Because that's one of my goals this year, is to get my investigator license and open up a whole investigative firm.
My goal before summer is to get my investigator license and start a small firm of private investigators in Nashville City.
Let's get into round 2.
Also, Ryan Upchurch thinks that Jason Aldean is trafficking children because when Jason Aldean goes on tour, he uses non-18-wheelers. So, Jason Aldean has this song, I think it's called, is it called Night Train? And it's a weird song. Because at first he's clearly talking about 18-wheelers. And it shows like his 18-wheelers on tour in the video. And then later on, it sounds like he's actually talking about a train. He's talking about running down to a spot to where they can hear the train and see the train coming through, like an actual railroad train. The steel and old boxcars. But at first, he's clearly talking about trucks on the interstate, like a road train of trucks. And Ryan Upchurch thinks that's all evidence that he's trafficking children.
My God. People are like, what takes you so long? Got your man to put out another video. Well, the little investigator that could just keeps on going, man.
You know why there's a fuck Upchurch campaign?
Because you're a tweaking-ass, narcissistic little prick that can't accept your self-sabotage downfall, so you want to take it out on everybody else and try to ruin their lives and cause trouble for other people. Well, let's hear your reason.
Because Upchurch don't fucking like pedophiles. Upchurch hates pedophiles.
Yeah. That adds up, yeah. It's because you don't like...
Doesn't everybody hate pedophiles except for, like, pedophiles?
Sure. This dude literally, as I'm making this video, puts out Instagram stories with just open wounds.
Oh. He keeps talking. So this tattoo used to say HB, and it was pretty vibrant. But Ryan's dug it so much, Gotcha Man calls it his scratch and sniff tattoo.
Still talking about how somehow Jelly Roll...
It's almost gone.
...with Robert Deardorff's house getting signed. I mean...
I'm sitting over here, I'm like, how did Deardorff transfer a house that was in my name in his name? How did that happen? If I'm not there and didn't sign nothing, how did that happen? Well, I found out where this apparent signing went down and these two notaries were at. I've never been there in my entire life. Guess what? You want to see some crazy information about the lady that made this happen illegally, apparently?
So one of the notaries that quit claim deed is Angela Everett. It says that, oh, we read this the other day, that she worked, she's a notary in Nashville. I'm sure she's worked for some music people.
Well, I'll be damned. That matches the Jelly Roll thing, the accountant thing, the John Rich thing, the Deardorff thing.
The only thing it matches is nothing. You're such an idiot, dude. So that's the smoking gun. That's your proof. A notary that lives near Nashville might have also notarized stuff for some music group or... Woo! Smoking gun. I can see the smoke come out of the barrel now and the blood out of your crater. All right, for real this time. Let's actually get back into it. Let's go back in the past, like 7-8 months ago, to all the "you're busteds" that he was doing, and pick up where we left off the other day.
You'll have to watch this full video, but I want him to show what he's doing. He's basically going back to every time Ryan said this person screwed him over, and he's got all the evidence, and they're going to jail.
Raycon, man, hit me up. Look, I'm a proud sponsor of you. You ought to be a proud sponsor of me. Hey, let's go back first, though, before we go into the next "you're busted" clip. I come across a clip that I had in the archive. Just proves this narcissistic shit and how he tries to manipulate people into going with what it is that he's saying. Like, if you don't believe him, then you don't like America, you don't like your wife, you don't like kids. It's crazy, man, and I'm not exaggerating at all.
These people are banking, the bad guys, they're banking on you getting fucking confused. They're banking on you being a fucking retard. They're banking on you not giving a fuck about America, and not giving a fuck about kids, and not giving a fuck about your wife, and not giving a fuck about your community.
Yeah, how you like that? If you don't agree with everything this guy says, moving forward, then you're just a fake idiot. You're a fake triot. He just can't smell it, damn it. Anyway, let's talk about how Vanderbilt was busted by this investigator who don't even have his investigator license just yet, but it is a go for the summer, so chill out.
I have proof of some very serious shit about Vanderbilt. You know what? I'll show you a tiny fucking piece that is very
tiny.
This is a tiny piece.
Tiny.
This shit needs to be taken serious, and something needs to be fucking done. And we need to start listening to motherfuckers when they talk that are speaking against the shit when you can't find the goddamn birthday of the motherfucking mayor. And
yeah, before his girlfriend left him, he used to have to whisper it when he's making these videos at 3 a.m.
And his wife works at Vanderbilt's Children's Hospital, where all of our babies around here are born.
Including your baby, which, in my opinion, you should be thanking Vanderbilt that they saved her life. And I'll get into that more here in just a second. And I know people are going to say, this is just a passionate father. He's just speaking passionately about his daughter, man, right? About his kids. And I get that. And he's probably a great dad behind closed doors. I mean, nothing's come out to say otherwise. I mean, there's not been anything pop up that says otherwise. You fake kids.
First off, this stupid fucking fat whore named Terry Gay tried to tell us we're not allowed to follow the ambulance. It's illegal. That fucking old raggedy bitch is a fucking liar. We followed it anyways.
Imagine that. Imagine being such a shit human being that somebody's actively trying to save your daughter's life and rush her to the hospital.
It is technically illegal to like follow an ambulance when they got lights and sirens on and you're going the same speed. Now, is someone going to, like, a cop tried to pull me over one time. I wasn't following an ambulance, but I was doing probably, I don't know, 60, 70, 60, probably not 70. I was probably doing 60 and a 30, taking my kid to the hospital. He had a fucking really bad fever. He was like, we thought he was having a seizure and shit. A cop got behind me and I was just like, fuck it. He's going to have to follow me. I got to the hospital, sent Mariah, and it was Liam. Sent Mariah and Liam running inside and waited on the fucking cop. And he came up and I was like, look, dude, he's got a fever. We called 911 on the way. They couldn't get there. We only have, my whole town only has 2 ambulances. So here we are. He didn't write me a ticket, but they can't tell you that following an ambulance is legal, that you're fine to do that, because what happens if an ambulance shoots through an intersection, you come in and T-bone a fucking car and kill a bunch of people, and they told you to go ahead and do it. They have to tell you it's illegal.
And you argue with them and just delay the process, right? And then later on call her all these names and claim that there is no law. There actually is. I'll put it on the screen right here, and I'll give you a little grace since you haven't got your...
Following an ambulance through traffic in Tennessee is illegal, dangerous, and can result in fines, potential jail time, and charges of reckless driving. Tennessee law requires drivers to pull over to the right and stop for emergency vehicles, keeping at least 500 feet distance rather than using them to bypass traffic.
Investigator license just yet. Moron.
She said if you follow the ambulance, we'll pull over and the baby could possibly be harmed because it's not getting to the hospital. That's what that bitch said.
Yeah, Craig Squad, you believe that?
I could imagine in a big city, like if they're going to Nashville, I could imagine in a big city, like at some point you're going to have to be like, hey, they can't be following us like this. They're going to kill somebody.
That bitch said. She also said that if I was to start a small fire while I was pumping gas and the baby was in the Jeep, that it could set the Jeep on fire. You thinking what I'm thinking, guys? I think this Terry Gay lady wants to burn my baby. I mean, I'm just energy. I mean, it's the exact same thing.
So this old raggedy fuck lied about a law, made up a Tennessee law off the top of her goddamn head, and then threatened to stop the ambulance and harm my child. Yes.
No.
Harm your child. No. You could cause harm to your child by delaying this process.
Ambulance drivers will pull over if somebody's following too aggressively, like family is driving unsafely or causing a hazard. I highly doubt any...
I could imagine that, right? Like if your driver's driving, the medic's in the back working, and they're looking in the mirror, and you're like fucking swerving in and out of traffic about to cause another accident, they're going to have to fucking stop or call the cops or something and tell you to, hey, back the fuck up. You can't do this.
Professional told this lunatic that they would pull over and harm his baby. They probably said the baby could be harmed. And here's the thing, lunatic. If you didn't show yourself as such a lunatic, then maybe somebody would take you serious. Lunatic. And
the big thing is, the reason I panicked with Liam to get him to the hospital, the big thing is getting them to an EMT. An EMT can do a lot to fucking help, right? It's not like they're without care and you're like, oh shit, they gotta get to the hospital fast. An EMT can do a lot in the back of an ambulance.
If you really care about the children and care about things like this, then you would hold yourself together and at least be somewhat presentable and not have your own family issues that spread all over the place because of you, lunatic. Then somebody would take you serious. If this lady or anybody that you're talking about for that matter really does do things to children, you're definitely not going to be the one that puts an end to it because you're a lunatic and nobody takes you serious.
All right, go watch the rest. I got you, man. It's pretty good. There's 2 parts to it. So it is called You're Busted, Part 1 and Part 2. But I don't think he's had enough time to catch up with the Nazi stuff. There are channels that just do Upchurch. Let's see, Creek Squad, maybe. I wanted to show you guys the Nazi shit, the legit Nazi shit. There's Ryan Upchurch fans, but isn't there just a Creek Squad channel? Maybe not. Maybe it's just Ryan Upchurch fans. Maybe this is something that they wouldn't repost. So that's a long time ago. I remember that one. That's where he has renters in his house and showed up without any notice whatsoever. It's not in this video. It's not in that video. Yeah, they haven't done it either. Shorts, maybe? No, these are old. Damn. I'm sure somebody grabbed it. I can go look at it now, but there ain't going to be shit there.
Passes in prison shows who wants to be fun. Anyone that passes, a dude with a beard in a dress is kind of hard to ignore. It just makes them look like fucking idiots, even more. I see fucking idiots. I see fucking idiots. I see fucking idiots. Wearing
do you guys not think he just killed himself? Do you think they will ever find Travis Lee Turner? So that's the high school coach that got tipped off. They were coming to him after he did some shit with a kid, a student.
Baggy pants showing off their fucking asses. In prison, Chelsea wants to be fucked. Anyone that passes, a dude with a beard in a dress is kind of hard to ignore. It just makes them look.
She's built like a traditional rapper, I think. Is this a bad idea, chat? Should we vote? Should we put a poll? Look at this. This is a bad mother. I had one of these when I was a kid. Broke my fucking leg on it. Look at that. That's pretty sweet. With the black plastics and shit. Scale of 1 to 10. How bad of an idea? That's pretty bad. You have to admit. That black goes fucking hard. I had one when I was a kid, and I was at the time all I had ridden was mini box and then dirt box. I had a little 50 dirt box, and the first thing I did was it was on Christmas Day. My dad gave it to me. He started it and sent me out the front yard, and as soon as I went to turn, I stuck my foot down to the ground to like we turn on a dirt bike, right? Like I was doing a sharp turn to come back up the driveway, and on a dirt bike I would plant my foot and sling the ass around like with a throttle. Put my foot on the ground. It sucked it underneath that tire. Shot me out the back, and the fucking three-wheeler just kept going and ran over some mailboxes and hit somebody's house. So that was an awesome Christmas. But I think I could ride one now, right? Oh, pretty bad idea. Anyways, someone's clipped that Ryan Upchurch stuff where he's just coming out as a legit Nazi. They have to have.
You're married shit.
I don't think it's on his shit anymore.
We can help you with it.
Church motherfucker.
Yeah, I can't go back far enough.
So why isn't anybody talking about the fact?
It's evil within Creek Squad, creating the endless drama. Oh shit, hold on. Creating the endless loopholes of drama to fuel the last of the remaining podcasts. They also hide the truth and try to harass the truth speaker. No wonder these people change their names a million times. Creek Squad needs to stop beating around the bush and talk. Creek Squad's what he calls his following. I don't understand that. Yeah. So it's gone from his story, but he legit came out as a Nazi. I don't even think he's hiding it anymore. He just came out and said it. He's like, I guess so, because we want to stop pedos. Get the fuck out of here, dude. I'm sure somebody clipped it. We'll get it eventually. Don't worry. All right. Big story. So you guys have been seeing the students walk out to protest ICE. Now, again, technically, students should be in school. They shouldn't walk out. They shouldn't do this. But, you know, that's what protests are. Civil disobedience, blah, 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 all this stuff. Well, they got one lady arrested for this. Basically, she joined a group chat that was some students that were planning an ICE protest walkout, okay, and adults. She owns a local business. And in this group chat, she sent two different messages. No, I'm sorry. She sent three messages. She sent one message that said, we're proud of you for standing up. She sent a second message that said, I want to make you aware that there are people on Facebook who really don't like this, and they're actually making threats. And shared a post of like a community post of people that were making threats, saying they were going to fucking harass the students and whip their ass. They need an ass whipping, blah, blah, blah. And then the third post she made said, there will be a group of adults that will be separate from you. We won't be with you, but we'll be separate from you. And to make sure that everything stays safe. She left the group chat. They arrested this woman for contributing to delinquency of a minor and gave her one charge for every student that left school that day. But that's not even the worst. Check this shit out. Check out what's happening in Pennsylvania. So these are cops that are grabbing onto students that are just walking and being loud and protesting. Don't let them go anywhere, that cop says. Now, these are all minors, high school students. Another cop shows. All the adults you're going to see are cops. In fact, this guy right here is the police commissioner. He put on a literal brown shirt to show up for this, by the way. He comes and starts assaulting people. So those people push back against his assaults. Then look, this cop's got a handful of this girl's hair. Now they're beating the shit out of cops. But they were assaulted first, right? You can see it in this cop's eye, right? In his actions when he realizes, oh my God, I'm beating up a fucking 15-year-old. Watch. So he's still freaking out right now, but now he's like, maybe I shouldn't be beating up a child. And telling him to remain calm and not be violent. Don't worry, we got other angles. Now look at this cop. So the brown shirt, the chief of police, is trying to choke out in a rear naked choke, trying to choke out a 16-year-old girl. And the other students beat the fuck out of him. Rightfully so. Until he has to flee. Look at him. An adult has to step in and pull him off this girl. Quakerstown, Pennsylvania is where it's at.
Everyone say hi to Scott McElroy. I don't really give a fuck how to say your last name. You need to be resigning, like, now. That was the man who decided to charge into the crowd of kids who...
So he sets it all off, right? We have cops standing here. We have kids standing here. The kids begin to shout. He comes through and just starts fucking throwing punches. That's exactly how he started all this.
From what
this picture looks like it's 20 years old and 100 pounds lighter as well.
Throwing snowballs, which is why an interaction between police happened. I didn't witness that. I didn't hear anything about snowballs being thrown. But what I did see was a grown man who is also the police chief of Quakertown.
Check out this angle of the police chief. This is from their local news in Quakertown. Or around that area.
Student walkout against ICE led to a violent clash between police and high school students in Quakertown, Pennsylvania today. You can see.
Look at him. He's on the ground choking a girl.
In this video, the man in the brown sweatshirt, sources identify him as the Quakertown police chief. You can see him struggling on the ground there, surrounded by students. He eventually gets up.
There he is.
A girl into a chokehold before the students attack him and bring him to the ground again.
Like, I'll zoom in. Hold on.
I'm actually girl into a chokehold before the students attack him and bring him to.
He's got her in a rear naked choke. And everybody's like, why did the kids attack him? Look, that's her. That's his elbow around him. This is his head. She's in a rear naked choke. I would have started fucking hitting him, dude. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing, bro? You ran into the crowd and started all this, and then you're choking out people? You've already punched somebody. Now you're choking out people? I think what he thought was he was going to run into that crowd, shove a few people around, and they'd bow down and be like, oh, we don't want no trouble. We're sorry. We're sorry. And instead, when they didn't move, now he's fighting children.
The ground again. I'm Action News reporter Elizabeth Worthington. We're outside the Quakertown Borough Police Department waiting to do a live report tonight. Police say that at least 5 juveniles were arrested after this incident and 1 adult male. At this point, we don't know the extent of that adult male's involvement, why he was there, but you can see him being placed.
That adult male is the one that finally like held the cop. He was like over top the cop and got the kids away and then helped him up. That's that same guy that we saw from this video. Towards the end of this video. Hold on. So it's this guy right here. See how he's kind of like pulling the cop's arms free, but he ends up helping the cop up once all the kids get away. And I think he stopped some of the kids from kicking this guy while he's on the ground. But he ends up doing that, and then he tries to help him up when it's time to stand up. That's the adult that got arrested. Same guy right here. Shirt, hat, everything.
The handcuffs in this video taken by a witness from inside a nearby restaurant. So here's the backstory on all this. There was a pre-planned student-led protest against ICE for today at Quakertown High School. On Tuesday, the school sent out a statement saying they were collaborating with student leaders to establish boundaries and protocols, such as identifying designated safety zones where the students needed to stay and establishing policies like if you miss instruction time, that's going to count as cutting class. But then around 6:45 this morning, Friday morning, the school sent out another statement saying the protest was being canceled due to potential safety concerns. But around 35 students left school anyway. They marched into town, and police say some of them began engaging in, quote, disruptive behavior, like kicking cars, throwing snowballs at vehicles, blocking traffic, tearing a side mirror off of a vehicle. But it's unclear when or why the confrontation.
Well, it's crazy we don't have any video of any of that.
Between police and students turned physical and then violent. But again, 5 of those juveniles were arrested. There's no word yet from police on whether they're going to be facing any charges, but the police say that as this investigation continues, there could be additional arrests. And the police department has not yet commented on the fact that the police chief is the one seen in this video. I do also want to mention he's obviously wearing regular clothes. He's not in uniform. We're told that that is not out of the ordinary for him, but that is becoming part of the controversy surrounding this incident. A student walkout again out of the uniform. How the fuck do they know who he was? He just come up and watch this video again. He comes up and definitely instigates it. Actually, I can get a full screen. Hold on. That's the guy that's arrested. So that guy's already arrested. We need to go further back. Let's see what they have to say here.
Dude, what happened? A brawl happened. My friend Willow was fighting back. Do you want to be on this? I'm on. Yeah, it's totally fine. Don't be on the wrong side of history, please. Listen to what we are saying instead of fighting back. Some cops start grabbing the kids, and then my friend Willow said, hey, get off of them. And then they pushed her, so she hit him, and then they started beating her up.
She hit a cop?
Yeah, but they were hitting other kids.
But, so somebody hit a cop?
Yeah, I wanted this to be peaceful.
Who hit the cop?
My friend. More than one cop.
What's her name?
A lot of people were getting.
But what's her name?
Willow Woodruff.
And she hit a police officer?
Yeah.
And what happened? Is she the one bleeding?
Yeah, she's bleeding.
So what happened?
The old guy punched her back. He hit a kid.
So who hit who first?
The cops, I believe. The cops were grabbing kids and they were defending themselves.
So they were trying to get you out of the situation?
Yeah. For some reason, they just all pulled up and started hitting us.
So this person that's recording this is twisting everything. So she hit a cop? So they were trying to get you out of a dangerous situation and you hit them? Is that what you're saying? Like, Jesus Christ. Manipulating children?
So the cops were trying to get you guys out of a situation and then it escalated?
Out of a situation. Everything they said, she put her spin on it. That was wild.
She hit a police officer.
I don't give him the right to hit her, though. I don't matter what she do.
Look, you can't hit the police.
There it is.
Hit her.
It's called restraining. Like let's just the kids have a right to protest, but like hitting the officer.
Old man hit a child, and she hit a cop. Well, who the hell is he to hit a child anyway? Let the cop deal with that.
Put him in the back. The backup didn't respond yet. It's not the police's fault. You don't hit a law enforcement officer.
There we go. Keep defending it.
Hit a child for hitting a police officer. But they can restrain me. You have blood all over. She wrote it there. Hit a female child. Because the female child hit a cop. Just because the female child hit a cop doesn't give anybody that's a citizen a right. Put their hands on him, on her.
I'll get a full screen of him coming in out of nowhere in a second. Fucking insane, dude. Look. Oh, fuck, dude. They fucked her up. At least busted her nose. That's what happens when you attack the cops.
I know what happened.
She hit a police officer. Now she's getting arrested.
If someone, especially in plain clothes, comes up to my child and starts grabbing on them, my child has every right to defend themselves. Especially if someone's in plain clothes. How was that girl supposed to know it was a cop? If someone comes to you, are you going to defend yourself? Fucking retarded bitch. Maybe this one's larger. All right, so we got everything's fine here. This cop says don't let him go nowhere. We have another cop that walks up, this big, gigantic motherfucker. And watch for the guy in the brown shirt that just goes right here, charging into the crowd, snatching people, shoving people, grabbing people. What the fuck is he doing? No commands, no interaction, no nothing. He's fucking grabbing people, slinging people around. Grabs that guy by the throat. Holy shit. It's hard to see, but look through this area. Grabs right there. You see his hand? Grabs that kid by the throat, whoever that is. See if we can zoom in. That's his hand on that kid's throat. Slams him down to the ground. There he is, choking out that girl who puts children in a chokehold because they're exercising their First Amendment right to protest ICE, and he doesn't like that. MAGA boomer attempts to attack children and gets turned away. I bet the music is probably copyright. That's why I got it muted. Why get out of your car and put yourself... let them protest. Go start your own protests. Go protest across the street. No one cares. Why walk in the middle of a protest to try to agitate? It's like that bitch that got slapped and got her phone knocked out of her hand or whatever. Like, clearly she was instigating, right? She was shoving it in people's faces. She was charging at people. She was laughing up in their face. They do that shit on purpose to get a reaction and say, look how violent they are. I was just here to ask questions. Fucking insane, dude. Comes out of absolutely nowhere in plain clothes. How the fuck would anybody know who he is?
Sidewalks of Quakertown. They are choking and assaulting children on the sidewalks of Quakertown, Pennsylvania, and they're trying to cover it up. And by they, I mean Scott McElry. Scott McElry, the chief of police and borough manager of Quakertown, Pennsylvania, is personally assaulting and choking children on the sidewalks of Quakertown, Pennsylvania. I just saw the footage. I just watched it. I see 35 students from Quakertown High School learned about...
So MAGA will say, hit a woman, punch a woman, kill a woman, shoot a woman, blah, 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 when it's their side versus the other side. But when the roles are flipped, they'll be like, how could a grown man even hit a woman?
The First Amendment. They learned that in America, you're allowed to walk down the sidewalk carrying a sign saying that you don't like a government policy, specifically one having to do with a very cold federal agency. But Scott McElry does not believe in the First Amendment. No, so Scott McElry put on his favorite...
Oh, yeah. I forgot you said you were going to Thailand, right?
Brown shirt. Yes, he literally put on a brown shirt, and then he ordered his police department to go and stop these children from exercising their First Amendment rights. So the police department shows up, they start to yell at the children, and then Scott McElry himself bursts into the crowd of kids and starts assaulting and choking young girls. He drags one of them onto the ground, where he has them in a chokehold, as people are desperately yelling, "Stop, Scott! Stop, Scott!" And now he's trying to cover it up. How is he trying to cover it up? Well, he arrested 5 of the 35 children, and he's throwing them in jail for a long weekend. That's right, he could have released them immediately. They could have processed them and handed them back over to their parents. No, but instead he decided that he needed to have them locked up all weekend to show them that the First Amendment is dead and that Scott McElry and his brown shirt are one actually running everything. And then he's also telling his police department to not identify himself as the old man in the brown shirt. But Scott, you forgot to close your LinkedIn. So I compared an image of you choking a young girl on the sidewalk of Quakertown, Pennsylvania with your image from your LinkedIn, and it's you, Scott. Also, you can literally hear people yell, "Scott, stop," because that's your name, Scott McElry.
Trying to tell them not to identify him as the person in the clip.
You are the borough manager and chief of police of Quakertown, Pennsylvania. The only people who can now stop you and ask you to resign are the borough president and the council. And that is Donald E. Rosenberger, L. James Roberts Jr., Michael Johnson, Dave Wilsey, Jonathan Sell, and May Ware. They're all council members there in Quakertown, Pennsylvania. May they actually find some patriotism in their heart. May they try to be the first member of a government to protect children from a madman. Because we know we're not going to get it at the federal level. So maybe, just maybe, the good people of Quakertown can ask their borough council to make sure that their children are protected instead of choked and assaulted by Scott McElry, the chief of police of Quakertown, Pennsylvania. They are choking and assaulting children.
I think this is the story. Hold on. Is this the story of the woman that got arrested?
A woman was arrested for joining an anti-ICE group chat because she told high schoolers she was proud of them for using their voices. She's now being charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor. High school students in Somerville, South Carolina were organizing a peaceful walkout to protest ICE. According to a report from Newsweek, Dina Cholet, a local restaurant owner, joined the chat to express solidarity with them. In addition to telling the high schoolers she was proud of them for using their voices, she shared a Facebook post that had outlined threats made.
Oh, yeah, actually, let me show you something. Destiny said this on his show, and it's the other day, and it's right. So we have like, he did a good job explaining this. This happens with immigrants. This happens with everything. So you have like, what should we call them? Give me just a second. Say we have tier 1 people. Okay. And this is like the president, his admin, Congress, Republican congressman, mainstream news or mainstream media, and the journalists associated with them. These people have a set of beliefs, like, or they'll profess a set of beliefs. We know that they don't actually believe these things with their own actions and how they talk privately. But like, say a Tucker Carlson, they'll say that the election was stolen, right? They don't believe this. They'll say things like college is bad. Right? They don't actually believe this. They went to college. They send their kids to college. They'll say shit like vaccines. Vaccines cause autism. No vaccines. They'll say these things. And that stuff used to go straight to the populace. And it was absorbed. So they send all this messaging to the populace, and it was absorbed, and some people believed it, some people didn't, whatever, right? They don't actually believe these things. Same thing with immigrants. They know that they can read. They're very smart. A lot of them are fucking lawyers and scientists and fucking experts in their field. They're very smart. They know that this is all bullshit. They know every bit of it's bullshit. Okay? And let's do one more line. They know it's bullshit. They'll send their kids to school. They'll get their kids vaccinated. Their kids will end up with the best education. They'll go on and get degrees, and they'll go to Harvard, and they'll do this. They don't believe the election is stolen. You can see that in their tweets. They just basically are just using this as a means to an end. If they can convince the populace of this and get enough people behind them, then that's the narrative that they're running with, and that's what they'll run for re-election. Okay? They don't believe anything they're saying. They're saying it for money, power, control, a lot of times just money, but other times, especially when you're in office, it's for power and control as well, okay? But then, just recently, we started having, let's say, tier 2 and tier 3 podcasters. The tier 2 podcasters are not technically, like, they're alt media, right? They're alts, A-L-T. So they're not technically part of the establishment, even though this line right here is kind of getting blurry, right? But they're the top of the top. They're the big ones. They're the fucking Matt Walsh and the fucking Ben Shapiro and the Tim Pool, any big right wing that you can think of podcasts, like huge. The Bongino, that's why this line is blurring. They're the Bongino, the Kash Patels. And they're close enough. This tier 1 is close enough into this vicinity. They are solely doing this for money. Okay? Money, money, money. And even if you say, well, they want certain people in power, yeah, but then those people get in power and give them money, right? Give them money and fame. You're doing this for money. There's a little bit of power with being a podcaster, but not like, you're not like changing laws and shit, right? But then you also have these tier 3 podcasters. So they're closer to the populace. They're also alt media, right? Alternative media, because they're not mainstream. And these people have drunk enough of the Kool-Aid from here and here that they are believers. Which is bad. Honestly, it's bad because they have power, they have money, and they actually believe this. Like, our country's being taken from us. The immigrants are doing this. The Jews are doing this. And because they have this money and power, they can use that to activate not only at their level, but the level below them. Right? We have people showing up for like January 6th and shit. I know that's not a great example because Trump was endorsing it and he's at the top. But they have money and power and fucking hate crimes and all kinds of shit comes out of this, okay? It's not good. It's not good. We used to have a separation where, like, the people feeding us the bullshit, like Alex Jones doesn't believe any of the fucking shit he says. But the people feeding us the bullshit didn't actually believe the bullshit. So they would keep us edge. They were fucking edgelords, right? They'd keep us just mad enough to where we voted away our rights and got rid of brown people and voted for the right person and gave the power to the right people and the money to the right people, but never out like we were going to fucking start a solo sniper mission, right, in a live server and just start taking motherfuckers out at a rally. But the true believers that have convinced themselves that they're believers, they will lead people that way. Because it's not just saying, we're losing our country. They're coming for our kids. They believe that a group of people are actually coming for their kids. It's not just saying, if we don't fight, we won't have a country, so make sure you vote for Trump. It's, they believe if you don't fight, we won't have a country, so do whatever you have to fight. And that's how we get these people showing up at like the Summer of Love or the January 6th or fucking shooters and kidnappers and all this crazy shit. Like, this right here is bad. They've had enough Kool-Aid where they believe this shit. They have money, they have power and voice that's magnified, and they put shit together with the regular people that are too busy. Like, they just catch the podcast, and the rest of the time they're just working, trying to pay the bills. We started an actual culture war when before we had a pseudo culture war where you said we're at war, but really we just want you to vote. We don't want you to buy Bud Light. And we want you to listen to this musician and don't listen to that one and send these memes. And we're turning it into an actual culture war. If you've got kids and you legitimately believed that someone was coming to hurt them, what wouldn't you do? It's fucking insane. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. It's just, it's an interesting observation, I guess. Pretty fucked up. And we've never had either this tier 2 or tier 3. It used to just be like Rush Limbaugh and Alex Jones. Well, I guess Alex Jones has been around for a while, but not like as mainstream as they are now. It used to be like news and talk radio and shit told you shit. And you're like, fuck them people. Did you hear about this? Fuck them people. And you went back to work. Now we've got this tier 2 who are just out for the money, the tier 3 who are still getting money and power but are believers, and all of that's driving the populace fucking crazy. Not to mention, it's the first time we've had so much social media and algorithm feeding you the shit that makes you angry and anxious and fucking upset and all the time. You know what I mean?
delinquency of a minor. High school students in Somerville, South Carolina were organizing a peaceful walkout to protest ICE. According to a report from Newsweek, Dina Cholet, a local restaurant owner, joined the chat to express solidarity with them. In addition to telling the high schoolers she was proud of them for using their voices, she shared a Facebook post that had outlined threats made towards the protesters so that they could be aware and safe. She also mentioned that a group of us, likely referring to adults, would be there to support them.
So she said, we're proud of you. She said, there's threats going on. There'll be a group of adults there to make sure you're safe, but we'll be separate from you. They arrested her.
Mentioned that a group of us, likely referring to adults, would be there to support them. Members of the group chat reportedly thanked her, and then she left the chat. That's it. Unfortunately, a police officer had anonymously joined the group chat as well. Now police have arrested her because she bears influence over the students to engage in disruptive or violent behavior. According to the police, some calls to potentially violent actions were made in the group chat, but there is no evidence to suggest that Cholet encouraged this behavior. The organizers also repeatedly reminded the group that this was to be a peaceful walkout. The police also used the chat to identify several of the student organizers. Meanwhile, a man who allegedly made threats against the teenagers if they protested was not charged. A woman was arrested for an anti-ICE group chat because she told high schoolers she was proud of them for using their voices. She's now being charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor. High school students in Somerville,
so if you say
were organizing a peaceful walk.
You say you're proud of protesters. This is where we end up at. I'm breaking on horseshoe theory to bring us home. God damn, I hope so. I hope we just don't devolve into fucking, just killing each other first. Fuck. I always think it's funny the people that are always calling for like actual war have never been to war, never seen war, don't know what it's like. But they're the first people to be like, I'm ready. Just say the word, Mr. President. Just say the word. I got an AR-15 and a fucking plate carrier from Temu. Fucking retards. Also, fuck Tennessee. Listen to this shit being proposed.
The latest immigration-related bill in Tennessee is causing some confusion. Senate Bill 1880 would create the Office of Homeland Security within the Tennessee Department of Safety.
Now listen, we already have a Department of Homeland Security within the Department of Safety. It's people who handle the license and all that shit, right? When I get a thing about my license, it comes to the Department of Homeland Safety and Security or whatever. Security and Safety. I can't remember which one it comes. We already have that department. We already have it. We're making it again.
No, Tennessee already has an office like this that's been in existence here since 2003. This was after 9/11. Now, fast forward to 2026, and you've got Governor Bill Lee saying that he wants to create this office and then hire non-commissioned and commissioned officers who report directly to the state, but also work with the local and federal agencies like ICE. So what it sounds like is that we're spending...
I've never been in a bind. Like, I've heard of guys being in a spot that was so bad they've fucking shit themselves or pissed on themselves. I've never been in a bind that fucking bad. I've shit in holes and covered it up. I've shit in bags, pissed in anything, really. But I've heard of guys being on hides and shit where they just have to, if you got to shit, and most of the guys would be like, I pissed myself. Some guys would be like, hell, I had to shit. That was it.
Taxpayer money to create an office that already exists so that we can hire people to handle cases like immigration without always having to rely on the feds. The second part of all this, which is raising its own questions, is that Senate Bill 8...
I also have a theory that you're not a full-grown functioning adult unless you've shit yourself once. Not like on a mission or whatever. Like I shit myself once being locked out of the house. Mariah locked me out of the house. Shit all over myself trying to rush home. And so I think that's like a rite of passage. All right, so they're creating a Department of Homeland Security and Safety within the Department of Safety, which already exists.
And federal agencies like...
And all it does is interact with local and federal agencies and ICE.
So what it sounds like is that we're spending taxpayer money to create an office.
And it's going to hire a bunch of outsiders I'm sure they'll probably get paid really well to oversee it.
That already exists so that we can hire people.
The next part is that's fucked up enough. Like, why are we doing the same thing over and over again? Every state interacts with ICE without having a special ICE interaction division. But the next part's what's really scary.
Handle cases like immigration without always having to rely on the feds. The second part of all this, which is raising its own questions, is that Senate Bill 1881 would make it so that all the records from this department would be considered confidential, which means that the public...
So we're creating an agency that already exists, separate from the current agency, that only fucking trusts I was like 22 when this happened, but whatever. That only works with ICE and local agencies to handle stuff like immigration. And right after that, the very next fucking bill is we want to make everything they do confidential. You can't request it. You can't FOIA it. You can't look it up. You can't get the body cams. You can't get their memos. You can't get their emails. You can't get nothing. So Tennessee is literally trying to make a secret police force that no one knows anything about or can get access or information or anything from to work with ICE to deport people. Listen again.
To rely on the feds. The second part of all this, which is raising its own questions, is that Senate Bill 1881 would make it so that all the records from this department would be considered confidential, which means that the public won't be able to inspect any records related to an investigation even after the investigation is closed.
Even after the investigation is over. Like, there's certain times where they're like, we can't share that information because there's an ongoing investigation. Fine. Even the FBI, everybody does that. Even after the investigation's over, you couldn't request body cams. You can't request information. You can't request emails. You can't request decisions. You can't request anything from them.
Think about that for a second. Right now, as a Tennessee citizen, you can put in an open records request to virtually any local or state agency the same way I do as a journalist. Some of you ask, like, how do you get some of these records that you use in your stories? The truth is, I'm no different than any of you. You could just as well put in the same open records request and get the same information. That includes body camera footage, that includes arrest.
Oh, there's a lawsuit that I'm keeping up with I think it's in Pennsylvania right now, where they're trying to charge a woman like $10,000 for 4 pages of records she requested because they don't want to give them out. They're allowed to charge a fee, but it's supposed to be reasonable, and no one really knows what a reasonable fee is right now. It's got to get settled in the courts, but when they don't want you to have something, they'll charge like $10,000 a page.
I was like a ninja.
Did you see the ABBA and Preach video of the 2 parents doing a podcast with their children and saying if Trump told them to blow them up, their MAGA parent? Oh, yeah. That's called The Necessary Conversation. We watch clips from there all the time. If they said to carpet bomb Oklahoma City or whatever, would you support that? Yes, because there's a reason. We don't always know everything, Haley. We don't always know what he knows. Like, it's fucking insane, dude. Shut that shit down.
Records that includes investigative files. Now, they may
Thank you for the donation.
Personal information, but you still get these files.
By the way, you guys, listen to this shit. So my analytics on YouTube, like when I go to YouTube Studio, used to not be great, right? I've got a bigger audience on Twitch. I would love to be on YouTube. I just don't feel like I'm as discoverable. But my views on YouTube this month for the past rolling 28 days, I'm only up 15 subscribers, which is fine. I'm up almost 11,000 views. I'm up almost 1,000 watch hours, 15 subscribers, and I've made $700 in the last 28 days on donations and ads and shit. Like, holy fuck. Thank you guys for joining us on YouTube. That was great. I would love to move to YouTube. Only YouTube and get the fuck away from Twitch, but I'm more discoverable on the Twitch pages, like when people go into politics and shit.
To know if these departments are doing things the right way. This bill would make it so that neither of us can access that information from this department. Now, my guess is they're going to say these agents need more protections, from doxing or whatever it might be. But think about that for a second. We see state and local law enforcement officers every single day. They have their name,
Gen X is awesome.
See their face. Everything is done in the name of transparency. I understand that these agents are dealing with very sensitive issues, especially when it comes to immigration, and so that might put them in harm's way. But again, the question becomes, where is the transparency? Are we getting transparency?
Twitch is nice watching live streams. I will agree with that.
See, when we're looking at this bill, and is that even a priority? The latest immigration-related bill in Tennessee is causing some.
That's insane, right? A secret police force that no one can question or ask about that only works with ICE? Why? Doesn't every other state in the world already work with ICE? And do it just fine without a secret police force that no one can question? Like, I don't understand. That's the one we just watched the other day, isn't it? Detained by mistake. News found at the time state. What is this? Detained by mistake?
Can you hold your hands up really quick for me?
She was detained, frisked, and searched by Metro Nashville police.
Okay, I'm gonna pat you down and run my car, okay? I understand.
Only for them to say they made a mistake.
It's a mistake. It happens. We're going to clarify everything.
This entire 12-minute ordeal happened back in 2023, but Sasha Palmer is now suing Metro Nashville police because of what happened in this video.
What's up?
I wasn't involved in it. I'm taking a break from work and you're arresting me for what?
Okay.
Oh, I sent you a message earlier. Is Destiny demonetized on YouTube? Because I used to be a member, and now they canceled my membership, and that's not even an option now. And super chats and shit aren't available either. Did he get demonetized for something?
Hold on.
But just to be clear here, Sasha hasn't watched this video that you're watching right now.
Every time I talk about the situation, it makes me want to cry. Even thinking about it, even recalling it, that's why I don't want
to. That's true, Josh.
Sasha was walking down the road at Bell Road and Murfreesboro Pike when a truck suddenly crossed multiple lanes of traffic and nearly hit her on the sidewalk. The driver, a young black man, ran in one direction, and Sasha, a black woman, ran in the opposite direction. When Metro Nashville police showed up to arrest the young driver,
Right there, to your right now.
they asked if Sasha was somehow involved in all of this. Officers in the helicopter said no, they did not see Sasha leave the truck. They said it multiple times.
Did you see a female? I did not.
But then we had one man in a white van drive up to Sergeant Michael Sloaner and tell him that his suspect is a black woman wearing a pink jacket with an afro running in the opposite direction. Sergeant Sloaner took the word of this witness instead of the word of his officers that were in the
For making fun of Kirk? Okay. So he'll probably get it back eventually.
helicopter this entire time.
Does anybody want to interview her as a potential victim?
Hey, 38. She came out of the truck. I've got the witness in.
But if you listen close enough to what the witness actually said, Sergeant Sloaner asked him, well, what side of the truck did Sasha get out of?
Driver's side or passenger side?
I did see, honestly.
So now when you think about it, the one person who made it so that Sasha was now in the back of a police squad car just admitted he didn't actually see which side of the truck she got out of. Meanwhile, officers are going through all of her.
To be fair, Gen X has been trying for fucking ever. She loves the show. She always tells me how much she likes the show, and she's going to get me in with this group, and she's going to get these people to look at it. Maybe she can get me on with this person. Like, she's a trooper for sure.
Stuff, and they find a gun. Sasha legally owns that gun. But as soon as she saw officers going through it, she thought, oh my God, I may actually go to jail for something I had nothing to do with. All while that's happening, we now hear officers in the helicopter say over and over again, Sasha was a victim, not a suspect.
She was almost run over by the vehicle at the intersection.
And see the reaction.
Are people fighting?
It's almost like they were stunned.
You said you were almost hit by the truck.
Yes, but she didn't even ask me anything.
They apologized. They claimed it was a mistake.
How embarrassing this is. I walk every day over here. I own a home over here.
Ma'am, I understand, but you have to look at it from our point of view.
They said, listen, I'm sorry all this happened, but you have to see it from our perspective because we see one person running one way, we see another person running a different way. But Sasha's pretty certain that the only reason they believe she had anything to do with the driver is because of the color of their skin.
And since I know it's racially motivated, I feel like it's my duty to speak up.
Metro Nashville police declined to comment other than to say that 2 of the officers are still with the department. Meanwhile, Sergeant Swoner retired last year in good standing. They told us to reach out to Metro Legal for a full statement. They stand by their officers because they believe that their officers were acting based on the information that they had at the time, and it was a fast-moving investigation, so they did what they could.
Sometimes we have to act on what we got, and that's what we had.
But Sasha is still moving forward with this lawsuit because she feels that there needs to be some accountability for officers detaining someone by mistake.
And I speak up.
I don't know about this. I think this is probably pushing it. Maybe she wins in court, but a vehicle crashed and multiple people ran away from the vehicle. She got picked up the same way that the person who fled from the vehicle got picked up. When they found out she had nothing to do with it, they released her immediately. There was 12 minutes of detention. I don't know about that.
Because it could have been a little girl. It could have been a little boy walking down the street, but instead it was me. And for that fact alone, I don't take it back. I don't take back what happened to me because I'd rather it be me.
Like, okay, say I was at a gas station. The gas station is getting robbed, okay? And when the cops show up, a fucking gunshot or something happens, I run out of the gas station and the robber runs out of the gas. Everybody runs out of the gas station. I would fully expect the police to try to arrest us all or detain us all to figure out what the fuck happened.
Than a child or anyone else to experience that.
Can you hold your hands up really quick for me?
She was detained, frisked, and searched by Metro Nashville police.
Okay, I'm going to pat you down and run my car, okay? I understand.
Interesting, I guess. Might be a stretch. What else we got? I told you Ron Upchurch is a Nazi. That was a big one. He's like, yep, Nazis are against pedos. So, I like this guy. Speeches so you don't have to.
I watched Donald Trump's speech today after the Supreme Court shut down his tariffs, so you don't have to, and this is my overview. And guys, this was the most insane speech that I have ever watched. Maybe the craziest thing he says is that he was very modest in his tariff ask of other countries, and then he says that he just wanted to be a good boy, and then he immediately goes, also the Dow just broke $50,000. Also throughout this, he will constantly say that the Supreme Court judges are stupid people and idiotic, and then he will also have to confirm multiple times throughout this that he is able to read. He starts off the whole thing by just saying he's talking to a record number of people. He's in a small press briefing room. And then he says that he's ashamed of certain members of the court for not having the courage to do what's right. And then he thanks judges Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh for having strength, wisdom, and love of country. Here's a direct quote. Foreign countries who have been ripping us off for years are happy, so happy, and they're dancing in the streets, but they won't be dancing for long, I can assure you that. He says that Democrats are against anything that makes America strong, healthy, and great again. Yes, we want to destroy the country that we live in, and I'm not even a Democrat. And then he says that the justices are a disgrace. And then he says that these judges are fools and lapdogs for the rhinos, and that they're unpatriotic and disloyal to our Constitution.
Makes
then
sense.
He just says that the opposition to him is a very small but very, very loud movement. And then he says that 2024 was just full of so much cheating, even though he won, which is a weird thing to say. And then he says that we have never done so well as a country. He says that the tariffs that he has in place have ended 5 of the 8 wars he's ended. 5 of these 8 imaginary wars that he's ended were due directly to these tariffs, where you Americans were paying the U.S. government money. That's what's ending wars. And also that tariffs reduce fentanyl coming into our country by 30% for some reason. This is the part of the speech where it will start getting just insane, because he, from this point forward, will just claim that the court ruled in his favor because he can now charge more tariffs. He says that all the tariffs are still there regardless of the decision, and that the court incorrectly rejected this, but we have alternatives and we will continue to take in hundreds of billions of dollars of your money. And then he complains that he can't charge $1 and says that it would have been 1 penny that he couldn't charge, but they got rid of the penny, so now we're saving money. Now he'll just start threatening the entire world. He's like, well, the Supreme Court says I can't do tariffs. Well, I'm allowed through my presidential power to just cut off all trade with these countries. So I'm going to take us out of the entire world market and destroy the trade just because he can. And then he says he can do an embargo and he can do anything but charge $1 in tariffs, which again is your money. And then he talks for like a couple minutes about licensing. Now, I'm not an economist. I don't know what he's actually referring to when he says licensing, but he also doesn't clarify that. And he just says, I can do licensing, but I can't charge tariffs. What is this? And this whole time, while he's saying all of this, he will say things in a way as if he truly believes that the other countries are paying tariffs. I, at this point, am convinced that he honestly believes if we put a tariff on goods coming in from Canada, that Canada is sending money along with their goods to pay for it to get into our country. I honestly believe this.
Because he's retarded.
He says he'll just go in another direction, and this is where he starts confirming that he's able to read. He says he read the language, and then he confirms he's very good at reading the...
They did, so the CBP or whatever did a study on this, and at first so it's not like only Americans pay 100% of the tariffs. There are companies that'll offset their price to like help with the tariffs, or will basically it's just offsetting the price. They're not actually paying, right? They're not waiting for it to get here and get it out, get it fucking. They'll try to offset their price, some wiggle room in there. So at first it was like American companies were paying like 95% of the tariff. And I think it's like now they're paying 89%, but still, holy fuck. Even if we're paying 50%, we're still paying 50 fucking percent. You should be paying 0%.
Language. You remember how Justice Kavanaugh is a rapist? Well, he says Justice Kavanaugh's stock has gone way up, and
like when they did, so Trump's first term, I think it was Trump's first term, they had a 20 or 30% tariff on Chinese electronics. And I bitched about it and I complained about it, and I didn't buy some electronic shit that I needed like for the stream because they only make the shit in China that I needed. But it wasn't like this, right? It was just fucking stupid. Like across the board, everything's more expensive. We're just paying it. He's claiming it's billions of dollars, trillions of dollars, whatever. It's just stupid.
He's a great man. And also Kavanaugh said that he can charge way more. So he may just do that. Charge you way more. Then he'll just say that numerous other statutes allow him to charge way more money. And then he just starts listing these statutes like Act whatever of 1964, Section 3, blah, blah, directly off the piece of paper. He doesn't look up at all. He's reading all of these off of the piece of paper. And then he says, I know it so well, and it's all so clear. And also Kavanaugh is a genius. Again, he can barely read. Now, remember, at this point, he's just saying that the court ruled with him. So he says that they gave him more power to impose tariffs, and also says that Dems just want to pack the court, which would be a good idea, and then says that maybe they should, and then he just keeps saying he will charge more in tariffs now that the Supreme Court has said that he can't do tariffs. And then he will say that the court ruled in his favor and no one was powerful enough to put in tariffs before, and also, again, we can charge more tariffs now. What are these more tariffs going to be? He says effective immediately, all existing tariffs remain fully in place. And then also on top of everything that we're already charging, we're just going to put an additional 10% global tariff on everything else that's coming into our country. And then he says, thank you for attention to this matter, because everything he's read has been off of a prepared speech, but he could barely read it again. And also, who wrote that? Are you kidding me? Everything I've gone through so far, who wrote that? And then he says that people who brought the lawsuit against him are sleazebags. And then he says the court makes a lot of bad decisions, but there are ways around all of the Supreme Court decision. The Supreme Court is the checks and balances of the legislative branch. And he's claiming that, fuck their ruling. I'm just going to do what I want. I swear to God. And then he starts taking questions. Someone asked, shouldn't you just ask Congress to do this because they are the ones who should make this decision? And he says, I could ask Congress, but they would already approve it. And also I don't need to, because this decision says that he can do anything that he wants with tariffs. And then he talks about the owner of the steel business that he spoke at yesterday and said again that that guy wanted to kiss him twice because his workers were working more now. And then we'll talk about a bunch how under Biden they were working like 1 hour and now they're working like 3 8-hour shifts. I don't know. The rest of this is probably going to be a bunch of alsos, because as he's answering questions, he just tangents together a bunch of random thoughts because he's no longer reading off a piece of paper. He says that we're building factories all over the place. Also, Canada was ripping us off and they took our market. And also he saved Intel. And then he says the country is booming. And he says it's booming because of the election and another reason. And then he forgets that he's talking and just goes, next question. And then he says he knows that these judges are slime balls and that they are influenced by foreign governments. He will get asked about that later. And he'll just say that the evidence is coming. Then a reporter starts asking the question. He just goes, I'm not talking to you. I don't talk to CNN. It's fake news. And then he goes, we will be much stronger now because every country in the world was ripping us off and we were stupid for it. And then he blames every past president, a group of which he was one. He can't read. He doesn't know he was president. He doesn't know what tariffs are. And he's making all of that very clear in this speech. He says we built China's army because he honestly
it was crazy. The fact that he says like 5 times, he's like, I can read very well. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Tariffs that we as the U.S. government were just sending money to China. He has no idea how this works. And then also we charge them a tariff for fentanyl. And then he says he has no idea what will happen with the money that already came in from all of the Americans who paid all the tariffs. And that also this decision was written by dumb people. And then he says that we will put fair tariffs or just tariffs on other countries. If you want to know how dementia works, he says that last week we gave farmers $12 billion of the tariff money. And then he also says now tariffs are confirmed by the Supreme Court. He will say that Canada, the country, just told us that they hope that we win this decision because if not, we will be allowed to charge more tariffs against them. And then he just says that Hakeem Jeffries is a low IQ individual. And then he says he doesn't have to work with Congress. He has the right to do tariffs and
his appointees
confirm that for him. Then he just says there is great unity with him.
But in Trump's mind, if he puts you in a position, you always have to defer to him, no matter what.
Republican Party, and he hopes you continue to vote Republican or you won't have a country anymore. Then he says, direct quote, the great big beautiful act. And then he says also that act, but that bill is better for workers and not rich people. Then he randomly starts talking about Ford. And then he says that I'll mention this. It's not relevant, but really all of it is relevant. Murders are at the lowest rate they've ever been in 125 years. Then he'll just claim that he could have shut down Switzerland and every other elite country, as he calls it, because we had a trade deficit with them. And so he was charging them tariffs. Switzerland doesn't want our shit. Switzerland builds precise Rolex watches and shit like that. What do they want from us? Someone will then ask, were you surprised by the decision of the Supreme Court? And he goes, I read the paragraphs. I can read very well. So yes, I was surprised they ruled against us because they don't know the law. He does though. He's so smart. Big boy can read very well. This is a direct quote. I swear to God. Every single thing I said today is absolute certainty. Then again, forgetting that he was president before because dementia, he says, we had some real dummies as presidents before. And then he says, in this decision, they specifically said,
this guy's really funny. He watches all the press briefing and all the speeches so you don't have to. And he gives you the key takeaways from it. It's called Let's Discuss Something on TikTok.
That he can do the tariffs. Then he says we have a very fair deal with India. He says that they pay tariffs and we don't pay tariffs. So that's fair. And then he's just like, oh yeah, Modi's a great man and I have a great relationship with him. He'll just randomly claim that he's the one who put the president of Syria in office. Someone is like, do you have any advice to the people of Iran? Not the right time to ask this question, but he says they better negotiate a deal. And then he says they were going to hang people by cranes, but he told them, if you hang anyone by a crane, then we'll kill you right then and there. So they didn't hang 800 people.
He said they were going to hang them by a crane, then just swing them around, which I think would be hilarious.
By cranes. Then he'll just claim that the continent of Europe is completely unrecognizable. Why, you might ask? The reason he gives is the environment.
I live in a town that hung an elephant.
took it over and they put up windmills everywhere. So I guess we're back to windmills now. Then he says Republican judges who voted against them are a disgrace to their families. And then he says also tariffs will potentially be higher now. And then finally he finishes off by saying great certainty has been brought back to the economy of the United States and the economy of the world. 10%ers, I warned you at the beginning. This was probably the most insane thing I've ever listened to. What was that? Can someone explain to me what just happened here? It seems like he's continuing to not listen to the Supreme Court of the United States. He's continuing to claim that he can do whatever he wants. He's continuing to claim that he's always had the power to do even worse stuff. It's just that he was trying to be a good guy before. Remember the crazy thing I said at the beginning where he said he wanted to be a good boy? Well, this is Donald Trump being a good boy. He's going to charge you more money to bring products into this country. Love you guys. I watched Donald Trump's speech.
Fucking insane. So I was just, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about tonight, but I was just randomly going through the Heritage Foundation's database of voter fraud, and listen to this story. This is one of the stories of their voter fraud. Listen to this. This whole room is blue, thank God. Riverbend, Missouri. Another leader in a tiny Jackson County village is facing election fraud charges. Riverbend, Missouri leaders were set to have their first meeting Tuesday night.
I was like a ninja.
It's one of those things where I can read very well. It's like any man who has to say he is king is no true king, right? Or to say that I'm powerful, or I'm stronger than you, or I would beat you up, or I'm an alpha, or whatever. Yeah, it's the unsaid that you have to worry about, not the fucking. I can read very well. I know all the laws. All right. Riverbend, Missouri leaders were set to have their. Thank you for the donation. Were set to have their first meeting Tuesday night, since former trustee Jessica Caswell was charged with willfully providing false documentation required for voter registration and filing false documents, both felonies. Now, Caswell's husband has been indicted as well on the same charges. James Hopp had an ankle monitor removed Tuesday, but still can't be within 100 feet of Riverbend City Hall under the conditions of his bond. The charges stem from November's Board of Trustees elections. Court documents say the two didn't have residency requirements to run for office. So a husband and wife, both running for the same position, neither one of them live in the area where they're running, which is a requirement, and they falsified that record. The husband won a tiebreaker against his wife, but they both received 6 votes. Let me read that again. The husband ended up winning a tiebreaker against his wife to win the board position when they both received 6 votes. Riverbend has an estimated population of 3, according to the 2020 census, but has 17 registered voters. Riverbend has an estimated population of 3, and not them, right? Because they don't even live there. According to a 2020 census, and 17 registered voters. The village was also set to be home to the Smoky River Entertainment District, a marijuana entertainment area. Many with ties to Riverbend have questioned how the board was appointed or formed. How are these codes being passed? Who is doing it? Where is the money going? Michael Schneider asked when Fox 4 visited the village earlier this month. The village said through a letter that the Board of Trustees was appointed by the previous board. How did we get a Board of Trustees? Well, the previous board appointed us. They believed they were the only residents in the 2,000-acre community located north of Independence and Sugar Creek along Highway 291. But to ease concerns, they decided to have a special election in November. 4 candidates, all tied with 6 votes. I thought there was only 17 registered votes. 4 candidates, all tied with 6 votes apiece for only 2 open seats. I'm sorry, for only 2 seats total. The whole board is only 2 seats. It came to a draw where we actually drew straws on it. And I guess I got that, Schneider explained. Daniel Weiss and Caswell, who according to our social media worked for one of the men behind the Smoky River, lost tiebreakers to Schneider and Hop. Election records show Hop and Caswell, that's the husband and wife, live in a building that actually resembles a warehouse, which is also the site of Smoky River's 420 Festival, behind Riverbend Town Hall. Smoky River has since withdrawn its redevelopment plans. So they were claiming they lived in a business, in a warehouse, to be able to vote. People have said a long time ago that there were actually people living in this building over here. That's not true. Nobody lives there, Schneider said. Schneider believes after his wife's death last month, well, there's one voter, he and his son are the village's only actual full-time residents. I'm here to tell you, I'm not going to fault. I'm not going to be corrupt. I'm going to do things right, and I'm going to help Riverbend. Well, it's only you and your son. I would imagine you do things right. I don't know. Fuck. Let's check this place out. So it's this whole outlined area, I think, in the red. Riverbend Capital Sand Company, Unlimited RV, Quick. So it's just one exit, right? Liberty Fireworks. I don't even see any houses. It's all construction. It's all industrial business. Is that a house? That's urban. I guess somebody could live. Oh, that's a house right there. That's a house. So somebody lives there, maybe. Maybe that's the Schneider guy. They were staying in an abandoned warehouse, or a warehouse that was owned by the pot company. Oh, that's an RV sales place. Riverbend Capital Sand Company. RLM, is that the warehouse maybe? Richline Motorsports? No. That's a different business. Huh. Maybe that's the warehouse they were living in. Godzilla's Fireworks. There's a fireworks stand out front. What is this? Some kind of altar to some other god. So there's not much to the area, I suppose. It's this outlined area, and it doesn't even seem like there's any homes here. Is that a house? No, that's a fucking substation or pump station or some shit there. Nothing around the lake here. I guess that guy lives down here at the fucking sand company or whatever. Urban Lawn and Landscape, is that where Schneider lives? Because no one else lives. Only him and his son are the only full-time residents there. I say let him be on the board. Have it a one-person board if he's the only fucking person that lives there. Holy shit. What about Carolyn's Pumpkin Patch? What the fuck did we just find? What is this? It's kind of random, no? Harry's Truman. Didn't expect to see that. Liberty Corn Maze. Huh. Over at Carolyn's Pumpkin Patch. Look out. Grain silos. it seems like everybody was trying to get on the board because of whatever this marijuana festival thing was going to be, the 420 festival. Because they both worked for that company and were trying to get on the board or whatever. I don't know. Weird. Uh-oh. We just got a clip. Clip channel. We just got a clip from the necessary conversation we were talking about earlier. 9 seconds ago.
Except the 2020 election results. Like 70% of the Republican Party. So how could you guys point at us as the ones that are anti-democratic when your side actively tried to undermine the 2020 election?
2020 election was
It was stolen from us for sure.
What evidence do you have for that?
The left is trying to undermine the election. 2020 was stolen, for sure. 100%.
So we had to renovate this bathroom with new water lines, which was supposed to be nice and easy.
You guys didn't
easy, broski.
Like 70% of the Republican Party. So how could you guys point at us as the ones that are anti-democratic when your side actively tried to undermine the 2020 election?
2020 election was stolen.
It was stolen from us for sure.
What evidence do you have for that?
It's all out there.
You keep saying all of it and everything. You make these weird big blanket statements, but you can't actually say one concrete answer to any of these questions.
Let me put it to you this.
Uh-oh.
The 20%,
Dank mid.
20% of Americans who are out there are not our side, it's your side.
20, what do you mean the 20% of Americans? What are you talking about?
There are less of you than you think there are.
I'm waiting for the seized ballots in Georgia to see that little outcome there.
Why did they have the ability to steal the election in 2020 when they weren't in office, when Trump was in office, but when the Democrats were in office, they lacked the ability to steal the election?
Because of those machines.
What machines?
The Dominican.
The Dominion voting machines. So those were.
We still use those.
Proven to not have a swing in the election. There were audits on this. There were literally court cases, over 60 plus court cases that indicated no sufficient evidence to overturn the election. Many of them were Republican appointed judges and Trump appointed judges even.
Talks fast.
You guys didn't accept the 2020 election results.
Fucking goddamn. There's something wrong with those people. Here's the second news story I pulled from the Heritage Foundation. Jerry Foster, 72 years old, of Orlando, served prison time for sexual battery on a child in 2009. According to his arrest report on Wednesday, Foster told investigators he registered to vote in September of 2020. Foster heard on the news in 2020 that Governor DeSantis blessed all convicted felons with the right to vote except for those convicted of murder and sexual offenders. Foster then called the Orange County Sheriff's Office resident deputy assigned to sexual offenders and asked about voting, and the deputy told him that he could vote. He voted. I don't think it's necessarily immigrants. He's a 72-year-old, he's a pedo, first of all. That's horrible. But he's a 72-year-old man who asked if he could register, and the cop told him he could register, and he registered.
And I'm not saying like you have to turn into a Democrat. That's not what I'm trying to get you to do here. I'm just trying to get you to see Donald Trump is a bad person.
I wish they would just go back to being pre-Trump Republicans. Holy fuck. You imagine how much of a win that would be?
Doing bad things, all of it for self-enrichment. It's okay to not support him, and you then also don't have to be a Democrat. You can support some other political candidate or no political candidate. That's an option too. You don't have to blindly follow
Destiny Pisco still alive.
Party, and you certainly don't have to blindly follow Donald Trump.
I'll be honest. There's so much stuff right now.
I was watching Destiny earlier, but I thought he ended his stream.
That is wrong, not only in the United States, but all over the world, that I just can't keep watching it. My brain is, it's making me very sad.
I want you to realize that all these things that are making you sad and that you think are bad in the world, the way to change them is to acknowledge they're bad and then not allow them to happen. As people, as citizens, we do have power in that.
Right.
Through protest, through voting, assuming that our elections are still, accurate and real. We do have power in that. And I think ignoring it is like, I get it. Everybody has their own mental health to take care of. And sometimes you need a break from it. Maybe forever you need a break. I get it. But I do think it's important to keep an eye on these things, talk about them, and potentially change your mind about who is really responsible for making the bad things happen, and then don't support them. And if you come to a conclusion that Donald Trump is that person, it's okay to just stop supporting him. That doesn't mean you've got to be a fan of AOC and vote blue.
That will never happen. I can guarantee you that ain't ever going to happen.
It doesn't have to. And I am not even asking that of you. I know that would never happen. But I do think there is a piece.
It seems like when the dad's not around, he has a pretty good chance of getting through to his mom on some things.
Of you that is starting to wake up to the idea that Donald Trump is the one who's causing all this harm. And it's okay to stop supporting him. There are other Republicans that are not like that and who have very many like same policies that you like. You know, keeping the border safe, putting more money in defense, supporting the military, whatever. There are other Republicans who support those ideas, but are not in the Epstein files more than anybody else, are not trying to divert our attention from the biggest criminal conspiracy in American history.
Right. I hear what you're saying.
And I'm not.
Let's see what they're talking about.
I misheard you. I thought you meant Hassan over.
You know why he said Hassan versus Vance would be a difficult argument, right?
I know that he. No, I don't, because he said he's indifferent, essentially. So I don't know that.
Do you think that the reason why he might be indifferent is because of the quality that led him to choose Epstein over Vance is a quality that he feels like Vance and Hassan share, namely being illiberal?
Right, which should make the Epstein question trivial.
It is. So unless you have a reason to
why not
believe that
answer
he's
it?
lying, why do you? Because he just got clipped. He's been harassed for the past 24, 48 hours. Like,
yeah, but I don't think Hutch is lying to me when he says he doesn't know. I think he's honest that he doesn't know.
I don't know. I think he spent
literally
the next
did, Stephen.
however much time trying to. Okay, so you think he just doesn't know? He's a retard. He has no idea.
No, I didn't say that. I think he's conflicted. He doesn't know. That's
what the fuck are they talking about?
And you're the one saying that that's not the case.
You can't possibly, because I know it's not the case, because it's a stupid answer. You either have no idea what he said to you, which I don't know why you've talked to him about this for hours, because it's painfully obvious to everybody else listening what he's trying to say. But you're telling me right now you don't know, and you believe he doesn't know if he would choose a liberal defender Epstein over an illiberal Hassan Piker. You have no idea. You have no idea what he would choose there.
You kind of fell into a little shit right here, because you understand what Hutch said. I don't know if you were listening to the conversation that you reviewed. But
I did. It's not about listening to what he said.
Listen. Wait, Steven, just chill.
Nonsense.
Just chill. No, there's no matter debate. Just chill. So the reason why you just stepped in it is because Hutch told me that the reason he was hesitating was the opposite. That the reason he was hesitating is because, and why he thought I was being like scummy or something, is because it's obvious that Hutch on the margin prefers Hassan. That's the direct opposite of what you just suggested. Hutch said in this conversation.
I do not believe that. No.
Well, do you want me to pull it up?
Bring him in.
We'll pull this up right now.
If you want, pull it up and we can watch it. Sure.
It's Hassan versus Epstein. Is that what we're doing now?
Just curious, because I'm just curious. Is this a link from Gisticle?
No.
Okay.
I don't talk to Gisticle.
For what? What are they talking about? An illiberal Hassan versus a liberal Epstein? She would have been a progressive if she married someone else. Maybe. I think a lot of that generation of women are like that.
I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see it.
Mariah gets all her news from me, basically.
1 second.
I don't want to just sit here and watch their fucking stream. I'm just trying to see what they're talking about.
Do we get all ready?
I'm about to.
Okay.
It's happening right now. It's live right now. I'm just not showing it, but it's live right now.
Direct opposite.
Yeah, just
of your suggestion.
Clearly, must inform my state.
Wouldn't me? My bad. I'm going to put this on 1 speed.
Oh, please don't.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It informs my state of mind, right? Clearly, it must inform my state of mind.
But wouldn't me asking for quality?
I saw earlier that most of the chat was basically saying that Pisco now, I haven't watched Pisco in a long time since he was on Destiny, probably. But that Pisco is now courting a tanky audience. That's where he sees his future audience in, and he's kind of placating to them.
Implied that I intuitively think that Hassan would be slightly better. If I don't need qualifiers for Vance and Trump, I would say, oh no, I would never vote for them. But
I hate Hassan.
You were wrong.
You haven't played any of the clip. I don't even know what he's comparing it to at this point. Isn't he saying that Hassan would be slightly better than Vance?
Yeah, and you
Go
said
back
that
20.
Yeah.
Wait.
And your suggestion was that he would think that they're equivalent, and therefore it's obvious that that's the answer he would give. And here he is saying it's intuitive that Hassan is slightly better.
I didn't say they were equivalent. What did I say?
No, that indifferent between them.
No, I said that. Yes, they would. He'd be indifferent.
Hassan's basically a grifter, right?
But they would both.
He lives this life of luxury, talking about how
one slightly better than
socialism, communism. That's what he's trying to turn the world into. While he fucking drives supercars and lives in $1 million mansion, and he's a fucking, I don't know. Not to mention he's like he's discouraging people to fucking vote left because it's not left enough.
Than the other, but not that it would make it like so obvious.
I think he just said the other day if Newsom ran that he just wouldn't vote.
Obviously preferable that he would choose Hassan over a liberal defending Epstein. That's what we were talking about before you were looking for this clip. Gave you this clip.
No one gave me this clip. I remember this.
Hassan Packer is who I'm talking about.
To show me was Hutch saying the exact opposite of me, which was that, he would obviously choose Hassan over Epstein. That's not this. You're saying here he would choose Hassan over JD Vance, which may or may not be true. But the reality is the reason why he said he would kill himself is because both these people are in the bucket of super illiberal people, which at that point you're voting for Hitler or Hitler minus 3 million Jews killed. Both of them are.
Wait a second. So your contention before was it's so obvious Hutch prefers Epstein, he just can't say it because your clip farm.
Does Destiny ever catch hate for basically creating Hassan?
How do you make sense of this clip and where he's saying?
How do I make sense of it? Because Hassan has doxed him and has got tons of people harassing him, and the whole snark left, half of which are in your chat.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if fucking Newsom came out and said I don't want to tax any fucking billionaires. It's better than the opposite. Right? It's better than Trump. It's better than Vance. It's better than what the fuck ever.
So set against him on this, and now you're asking for a really unnecessary comparison that you and Hutch both already know the answer to. For what purpose other than for getting him increasingly clipped by the guy who's already doxed? And
no, you can support Hassan all you want. I don't care.
For the next week, why would you ever do? What's the purpose?
I don't know if you just heard what I said and you think I'm gonna forget and get distracted, but what I just said was your contention is I'm bad faith because it's obvious that he prefers Epstein over Hassan. He just can't say it. In the clip we just saw, he said the reason I hesitated intuitively is because I think Hassan is slightly better than Vance. It's different than what you're suggesting.
What do you think this clip says?
I was talking to somebody who asked me.
I listened to this whole 3-hour talk. The 3-hour talk is him constantly saying the problem with Vance and Hassan is they are both illiberal. Now you try to address this.
I understand wanting a more progressive candidate, right? The most progressive candidate, the super progressive candidate, right? But there comes a point where we're like, okay, we didn't get the most progressive or a super progressive or even a progressive candidate at all. Or we got Trump. And I guess we see what it's like living under Trump.
This up by saying, well, maybe they can't get what they want, whose policies are in a closer direction to yours or whatever else. And so that adds a little bit more to this conversation. But given the opportunity for a fully lived out pedophile Epstein versus a fully tankied, politically capable Hassan, pretty sure that Hutch, I don't know, you can ask him next show, pretty sure Hutch would say, I guess I would go with Epstein here. The same way I'd go with Epstein over JD Vance, because JD Vance and Hassan both want to destroy the liberal world order. That's why Hutch in this conversation literally asks you, don't you think that that Hassan would what was it? He said on day one, would he give intelligence to China or some other thing? Mm-hmm. And I think you asked has he ever said that before? Something stupid. He asked as a hypothetical. These are things that Hutch would. I don't remember. Whatever it was stupid. You can go find that timestamp of the video if you want. But the obvious.
It's going to be super hard for a president or any single person to come in and break Israel's stranglehold they got on fucking America. They bought all our politicians.
The point of the question is
even if you had a guy that came in and is I'm president, we don't support Israel anymore. We're going to break that off. They need to fucking take care of themselves. They can't be bombing people and doing assassinations in Iran and secret missions and blowing up pagers and blah, blah, whatever. It doesn't matter, right? You'd have to fucking run everybody out of Congress.
Things that would fundamentally destroy the United States the same way that JD Vance would fundamentally destroy the United States. And he thinks Epstein probably wouldn't destroy the United States.
Okay. I mean, I guess I don't know your position. It's your position still. And notwithstanding Hutch right there.
What if we make 340 million sided dice? We just roll it. Whoever the fuck it is, you're president. Dave, the raving street corner derelict. It's your lucky day. Congratulations, sir. I'm for it.
They're saying intuitively he thinks Hassan is better. Now,
here's what I would like to see. I just want to, this may be a horrible experiment, but back in the day, like Congress was set up to be like regular fucking people who went and did this service, almost like jury duty. You did your thing and then you had to come back and live under that. So what if they just took, like they fucking cleared Congress, right? Nobody's in it. And they just took regular, everyday fucking people, not millionaires, not billionaires, not people on trust funds. They just took regular, everyday fucking people and put them in there with all the, you know, advisors and assistants and everything they need to understand this and understand that and just see what the fuck happened in Congress.
Notwithstanding that it's still
better than Vance. Better than Vance,
and that's why he's pausing.
Yeah, right. People wanted to stand up so hard for fucking Gaza, which I understand. That was fucked up, what Israel's doing. It's fucking genocide, right? I'm not going to say it isn't. But people wanted to stand up so hard for fucking Gaza, they fucked us too. Like, oh, I'm not voting because I don't think it'll make a difference in Gaza. Well, great. Now we got people being assassinated by the secret police that only report to Trump. Awesome.
Right, and that's why he's pausing.
He's asking you, like, no, because he's asking why, maybe hypothetically, why would he need more qualifiers, maybe for Epstein or whatever here? But like, this is in the middle of a conversation where he's like,
dude,
like, if you listen to
I think the argument against straight, direct democracy voting is just that people's got too much shit going on to be informed on the topics.
What?
So I can't. So you're calling me bad faith because I don't.
I think that's what the argument people would make.
It's so obvious. Epstein, he treats them the same way. When here,
Dave will rise to the position.
Intuition. I'm sorry. Direct signaling. Intuition.
Hey, pressure makes diamonds, man, baby.
The reason he's hesitating is and asking for additional qualifiers about Epstein with respect to Hassan is because intuitively he thinks Hassan is better. And if he thinks Hassan is better, then it's likely he would say Hassan over Epstein. Sorry, and also Hassan over Vance. And therefore not being different.
Had anything to do with the Epstein comparison. He's just giving reasons why he might. The actual answer.
No, it does. Listen to it.
Asking for qualifiers.
It informs my state of mind, right? Here it is. Clearly, it must inform my state of mind.
But wouldn't me asking for qualifiers imply that I think that I intuitively?
Oh, it's called sortition. The only reason that I don't like support that idea more and be like, this would be a good idea is because I know there's like some legitimately retarded people like running around. Like I live around a bunch of them in my tiny little county that are just fucking idiots, right? That their only source, the only research they're going to do is a meme they saw on Facebook. I just argued with somebody the other day it was on Valentine's Day. Me and Mariah were driving somewhere and I saw a post come up and it's like, sorry, Bad Bunny, you shouldn't have been wearing a dress, burning our flag. I'm tuning in to Turning Point. And it was like a post from before the Super Bowl. And I'm like, you know that image is fake, right? He wasn't wearing a dress. He wasn't burning the American flag. None of that happened. I don't care. I saw it, and I'm the type of person to say what's on my mind. So you saw a fake image, and I don't understand.
On would be slightly better. If I don't need
and that is better than Vance. He's asking for qualifiers. The qualifiers he's referencing are with Epstein.
Qualifiers for Vance and
I've seen James Tallarico. Yeah.
For Hassan. Doesn't that mean that I'm thinking more about possibly supporting Hassan?
There's a bunch of people making arguments against James Tallarico saying he's Republican light, basically. But that might be what it takes to win in Texas. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's direct opposite of what you're suggesting.
Don't you think that some of the qualifiers might be like the fact that we have a Trump administration right now,
like
and we have a JD Vance that could theoretically assume Trump?
Here's something that's hard to argue. Saddam Hussein was a piece of shit. I've met people that still had like scars on their bodies and shit from where he used chemical weapons against his own people. Definitely a piece of shit, right? I'd love nothing more than a president who finds out they are president and immediately their response is fuck. Fuck, yeah. Like you just wake up and you're like, God damn it. I knew it was coming one day. Saddam Hussein was a piece of shit, right? He turned chemical weapons on his own people. I've met people. The Kurds fucking hated him. I had a fucking an interpreter. It's all fucked up. But he ran that area, Iraq, kept out fucking, militias like ISIS, kept Iran out of Iraq. And maybe it takes a person like that to run that country at that time. Not using chemical weapons against people, not doing assassinations and shit. But it's kind of going to take a fucking iron fist to run that country at that time in the situation it was. They weren't ready for like, here's a bunch of democracy. I hope you love it. Like, everybody fucking vote. Because the first goddamn elections, I was sitting on a gun truck trying to prevent a guy that was elected that night from his son being assassinated. Like they weren't ready for that. You can't just be like, okay, this guy ran everything, get rid of him. Everybody vote. Here, wave this flag. It doesn't work like that.
Position, and we've already seen that Trump is a massive threat and is doing everything he can to destroy the liberal democratic world order. That some of those additional qualifiers might be how much power would Hassan have if he were in office, the things that you guys literally directly talked about in this conversation, that those would be things that might relevantly inform his opinion, and that he might want to be, it doesn't really matter how he answers the Epstein versus JD Vance question, because JD Vance is not coming after Hodge on Twitter, not that I've seen, and as far as I know, Epstein is, seems most people believe he's dead, so it probably doesn't matter how he answers that.
I would buy his phones and shoes and I like the things he says. I like his interviews, his town halls. I like the thing he says. I know that there's a progressive movement against him, though.
Maybe we need to add some more qualifiers on here so it doesn't seem like, especially when you've got Epstein, the multi-child rapist, versus Hassan, the guy who presents himself publicly, is the guy who just wants single-payer healthcare, right? Maybe it's worth fleshing that analogy out a little bit more, especially given the last...
Aren't there a bunch of clips of Hassan being like, yeah, but Americans aren't like ready for that. You got to start them out like you just want social programs and this and that, and then that's the way you get full communism in. Isn't there a clip of him sitting on a couch? Did I dream this? He's like on a podcast with two other like tanky types, and he's talking about why he doesn't push like full on fucking communism harder. And it's because he's like, well, you got to kind of lull them into it kind of deal. The same thing that every Republican in the world's afraid of.
4 to 48 hours on Twitter.
I swear I've seen that clip.
The quote tweets.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I genuinely don't know what his take is on the hypotheticals. That's why I just dragged him in. Maybe
why
he
do you
can
think?
resolve
Wait. So Hutchins, just real quick. If you don't know the answer to that question, I'm assuming that you and Hutch are at least friendly, okay, if not friends. You've had this conversation with him for 4 or 5 hours, and you have no clue what the answer is to the question that inspired this extra 3.5 hour conversation. What's going on there? How is there such a failure or breakdown in communication?
I think that he's conflicted. I mean, Hutch, you can tell us more, but at the end of our conversation, you said you're not sure. Accept that answer.
I can like imagine the clip, like the clip he's sitting on the couch and he's on the right end of the couch, and there's like 2 other guys there, and they're talking about. And he's like, well, you kind of got to lull him into it. So he's not even representing his points, his beliefs, honestly. It doesn't seem like it.
No. So listen, like when we spoke, I said that the fact that I hesitated when you asked, I swear to God, if we say Epstein one more time, but when you asked me like Epstein versus Hassan, I said that I would rather Minecraft myself. And the questions you had asked me before, it was like Hassan versus Trump. And I think I said the same thing. But the fact that I hesitated in that moment and I wanted qualifiers, like, I just don't think that that's a big deal.
Oh, that's Hutch there, right?
In a different mood that day. Or maybe it indicates that, like, intuitively you could pick up on maybe that just means that I find Hassan to be slightly more palatable. But the whole premise that I was going with has been pretty consistent this whole time, which is that Trump and Hassan are both so illiberal that, or Vance and Hassan are so illiberal that neither one of those sound like a great option to me. That's what I mean when I say I'd rather Minecraft.
Right, but you're unsure about the disposition on the hypotheticals, fair?
Yeah, but that doesn't matter is the point I'm making. It really doesn't matter. Like, the point is, I find them both to be so illiberal that I would not want to live in a country that was ruled by either.
So I don't know. I totally agree with that. Just like the whole thing that Stephen is examining right now is whether I'm good or bad faith. And part of that argument from him is that I knew the answer, right? I already knew the answer. And so, of course, my motivation when asking the question is to just make you look bad, having like actually knowing the answer. And so, presumably, if you're not even sure, right? Regardless of whether or not, and we certainly do agree that we don't want either of these people leaving the country, regardless of whether or not we agree with that, and we do, whether or not you're sure is relevant to whether or not I'm good or bad faith.
Rather than the rambling.
Was it a Willie Mack video, maybe?
Epstein was the same morally depraved, child molester, whatever he is now, but Epstein would essentially be a neoliberal, liberal, defend the liberal order, or whatever you expect him to be, like you would versus Vance. And it was that.
So if you don't know who Hassan is,
who had decent control over the government, could sell our secrets, could move us towards whatever communist ML thing that Hassan would want to do, would you rather Epstein or Hassan as president in that environment?
I don't know why we're asking different questions than the ones that
that was the question that was asked.
Oh, I missed the answer. Does Destiny ever catch shit for like creating Hassan? Because like they were close at one time. Hassan even lived it with Destiny at one point, right? And Destiny was sending his viewers to Hassan, and that is basically Hassan's audience.
Question.
I don't agree.
What's the difference between that question and the one that was asked before?
The question was
okay. I'm out. I just wanted to make. You guys were talking about my position, so.
Wait. Do you know your position though?
He probably doesn't want to answer the question because it's a child rape question versus Hassan Piker, who's been harassing him for a week on Twitter.
No, hang on. Just to be clear, I honestly do not give a fuck about any of that. That's I just don't look at my mentions. It really doesn't faze me for the most part. 99% of the time, that shit doesn't faze me. So it just comes with the territory.
Stephen, you're wrong about that then. Okay, you were saying that Hutch was worried about all his mentions and that's why he was hesitating, and Hutch just told you that's not the case.
Okay, good job. So would you Epstein?
How about a fucking apology? Wait a second.
No, you're not gonna ever apologize to you for anything. The way you conduct yourself on stream is one of the most disgusting things like you.
No, wait. Let me just say something. Okay, I think like Destiny. Do you not understand about Pisco by now?
I know. I saw the little documentary where Hassan tried to take credit for like live streaming, like inventing live streaming politics or whatever. And like he was a self-made man and all this shit. Like that was cringe as fuck.
Interactions that you've had with him, that he fucking just loves arguing.
No, because he's selectively critical, because he selectively turns on and off understanding depending on where he's at in an argument. The fact that he could perfectly explain earlier why somebody would choose Epstein over Vance, but somehow, is confused about why would somebody, have...
I'm not going to just fucking stream cap their fucking stream. Did you guys see this? You guys remember we covered Punch the Monkey? Punch the Monkey, who's been abandoned by his mother and picked on by the other monkeys. So he has this like stuffed animal orangutan he goes to for comfort. Someone gave Punch the Monkey a firearm. So things have escalated. 2 confirmed casualties so far. Breaking: Punch, the viral orphan baby monkey, has somehow acquired a pistol and is firing at monkeys who bullied him. 2 confirmed casualties. It's funny because it's not happening in our school currently, but it seems like a very American monkey thing to do, to be honest with you. Why won't it fucking load? I was just playing it. It's playing over here and it won't fucking play here. What the fuck? What's the recoil look like? It doesn't. Yeah, the recoil's not there. AI still hasn't figured out guns great. The slide action and shit. Punch the Monkey is fucking amazing. You want to check on him? Hold on. Oh, now all the clips are playing at once.
Why would you think that? Because he wrote in his emails that I have an STD, which is just not true. Do you think Jeffrey Epstein hated me, Hillary? Of course not, Bill Gates. Why would you think that? Because he wrote in his emails that I have an STD, which is just not true anymore. Oh, I bet it's herpes. Ah, Bill. What exactly did the email say? Well, it basically described how I got an STD at a pizza party, but I don't know why he'd write that. It's not true anymore. And if I did have an STD, would I have started a global pandemic and put the STD in a vaccine so that everyone on the planet has the same STD as me?
Holy shit. Wait. I saw a MAGA woman today that made a TikTok video that said, "You guys ain't going to believe this. My husband just told me that Jeffrey Epstein was trying to put his DNA in the COVID vaccine." It wasn't a joke. It wasn't satire. She believes that Jeffrey Epstein was alive and trying to put his DNA in the COVID vaccine.
Started a global pandemic and put the STD in a vaccine so that everyone on the planet has the same STD as me, just so I wouldn't feel embarrassed about it? Probably. Oh my god, that's insane. An STD is nothing to feel embarrassed about, Bill. It's bound to happen at a pizza party sometime. How do you get an STD at a pizza party? Well, I also found this email. He says, Bill Gates was over for a skinny dip in the hot tub. I got a glance at his wiener and it's teensy weensy. It's so teeny tiny I'm surprised an STD fits on it. My peepee's big enough to fit an STD. Not that I have one anymore. Why would he say that? I don't know, Bill. Just ask him. I can't. He's dead. Actually, Bill, Jeffrey Epstein is still alive. Wait a minute. He's been alive this whole time and didn't
I'll show it to you. Hold on.
Where is he? Well, it's top secret. Let's just say he's on his island. Oh, so his island then. He's really still alive? Of course, Bill. We wouldn't kill the only guy supplying us with babies to eat. Gosh. Whoa. Hang on. What did you say about eating babies? Elon, what the hell? Where did you come from? I was hiding in that plant. I was trying to find out when and where the next pizza party is. They're not really pizza parties, Elon. Well, obviously, if you're eating babies, then it's a baby party. Jesus, man. You're so autistic, even cannibalistic pedophiles don't want to hang out with you. Do you think Jeffrey Epstein hated you, Hillary? Of course not, Bill Gates. Why would you think that? Because he wrote in his emails that I have an STD, which is just not true anymore.
Even the cannibalistic pedophiles won't hang out with him.
Gabriel Iglesias, thanks for coming on my show. I sold out years ago and I'm a coward.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. You know what's so funny, Steven?
No, Gabriel, I have no idea what's funny. Tell me.
I'm fat and Mexican. Isn't that so funny? Oh my God, I'm so fat and I'm so Mexican. That's so funny, right?
Oh my God, that's hilarious. I sold out years ago and I'm a coward.
Stop the show.
There he is. That's the fat Mexican who doesn't belong here.
Hey, what the hell are you doing? What's going on?
I'll tell you what's going on. You're an illegal immigrant from Mexico and you're not welcome here anymore.
No, that's not true. I was born in San Diego. Come on, man. I'm fat and Mexican. Isn't that funny?
Don't waste your time, guacamole, a burrito, a salsa, whatever your name is. I don't speak Spanish. Hang on there, mister. I sold out years ago and I'm a coward. Doesn't that mean anything to you? You better back up, pal. I'm allowed to say I got scared for my life and shoot you as many times as I want.
We're gonna take Greenland, JD. We want Greenland because it's so green. And after we take Greenland, we're going after Iceland. And it's gonna be so easy. There's like 5 people in Iceland.
Donald, ICE just deported Gabriel Iglesias.
What? Seriously? That's my favorite comedian.
He's so fat and Mexican. Isn't that funny?
Give me the phone. I want to talk to ICE. Did you deport Gabriel?
I've never, ever thought Gabriel Iglesias was funny. Maybe that's my hot take, but literally, it's just that he's fat and Mexican. Like I don't get it. That's not funny. I don't know.
Iglesias.
Yeah, I heard him say he was not only fat but also Mexican on national television. I thought he was illegal and got scared.
Damn it. All right, you have to get him back as soon as possible, okay? And no more mistakes. You guys are really crapping the bed right now.
It's like that. Who's that fucking guy that does the puppets? Jeff Dunham?
What the hell was that?
I swear to God, she came right at me with that map. Gabriel Iglesias.
I swear to God, she came right at me with that map. Is that what he said?
I swear to God, they're really crapping the bed right now. What the hell was that?
I swear to God, she came right at me with that map. Gabriel Iglesias, thanks for coming on my show.
Back. God, I got the clip. Watch this.
My husband told me that Epstein wanted to put his DNA in the vaccine, in the COVID vaccine.
Wait till you find out that Donald Trump put his DNA in children.
I'm just fucking blown away right now.
Ma'am?
I'll go back to it in a second. Hold on.
You and your husband both voted for Trump, didn't you? I don't even have to go back and look at your page. Based on that statement alone, based on your husband telling you that, and you not even questioning that and just believing that, you voted for Trump. Guaranteed. Who's going to tell her? Who's going to tell her why? You know what? I'm not, because I think this is a good research opportunity. I think this is a good opportunity, man, for you to go research why the statement you just...
He was dead before...
is probably the absolute dumbest statement that I've ever seen anybody make on this app. So yeah, I'm not going to tell you. If somebody wants to tell her in the comments, I got nothing.
That account is Al Berry Comedy. The Al Berry Show, Al Berry Comedy on TikTok.
Somalians only stole like $9 billion with fake daycare centers. I feel like everyone is way overreacting. These people need to take a chill pill and learn how to forgive. You're right, Tim. It is not a big deal. These devil white people are just looking for things to be upset about. I know, Ilhan Omar. I just don't know what to do if I can't be the governor. How am I going to make money? Politics is the only thing I ever learned. Oh, Tim, don't cry. Everything will be okay. I just wish I were as smart as Somalians. Then I'd know what to do. Tim, you are as smart as the most intelligent Somalian. You really think so? Of course I do. Remember you took an IQ test and scored a 71? That's even higher than I got. You really think I'm a Somalian genius, huh? You know what? I think I have an idea. Hi guys, I'm Shirley. I've been told this daycare is being run by a Somalian, so I'm here to investigate. It's called the Leering Centaur for Kid Waiting to Lear More. I'm gonna knock on the door and see if anyone actually works here. Are you with the news? Holy crap, you're Tim Walz. I'm not Tim Walz. I'm a Somalian. Tim, I know it's you. I can tell. Ah, crap. Fine. Just don't tell any of the Somalians it's me. The only way to become part of a Somalian scam is to be Somalian. Why are you here? Well, obviously I can't be governor of Minnesota anymore, and I needed another way to get rich. Am I really the only one who's noticed you so far? Yeah, people are pretty friggin' oblivious about it. Hey, you want to hear a joke I learned from the Somalians? Okay. How many Somalians does it take to change a light bulb? I don't know. How many? I'm not sure. They're still trying to figure out what light bulbs are. Somalians only
Damn.
Somalians have a Christmas is a racist holiday. Pete Hegseth, are you bombing the North Pole, you son of a bitch? That's right, you son of a bitch. That'll teach you for putting me on the naughty list. Oh, you son of a bitch. I put you on the naughty list for bombing a Venezuelan fishing boat. You son of a bitch. That boat was filled to the brim with drug cartel members and you
son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch. Those drug cartel members were on the nice list. Wait. Why the hell are drug cartel members?
Seems like they're not afraid to take a swap at either side.
Nice list. Hello? Damn it, he hung up. Is everything okay, Pete? Not really. I bombed the North Pole because Santa put me on the naughty list. Oh, that's not good. Why? What's the problem? Well, being on Santa's naughty list used to mean you'd get coal for Christmas. But people don't care about coal. So now Santa's naughty list is about defaming people as pedophiles. But I'm not a pedophile. Neither am I. Alright, so how do I get off the naughty list? By doing something really nice. We'll use my wheel of selflessness. I use this to figure out what I'm gonna do to help the American people. Why are there golf clubs on it? What's more selfless than minding your own business for a day? Ooh, we got tariffing China. I'll call Xi and let him know. Donald, I don't think more tariffs will get me on the nice list. What if we just delivered the presents for Santa this year? That way he'll have time to fix the North Pole and bang his wife. I love that. Come on, I have a flying sleigh in the East Wing. We're not delivering presents to Somalians, Pete. They don't deserve Christmas. Hey, we're flying over Venezuela right now. Here's your gift, you sons of bitches. Pete Hegseth, are you bombing the...
Damn it.
Tim Walz, I sold out yours. Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, congratulations on another success. I'm the mayor of New York City, Mr. President, and I came here for one reason. Do you have any spare change? I promised a ton of free stuff and I'm desperate for someone to pay for it.
Donald, he's asking you nicely. Since you're a billionaire, you should be the one to pay for the free buses.
Shut up, Benny. We all agreed Zoran would do the talking.
Oh, all right, that's it.
Oof. All right, you two.
They're the Three Stooges.
Oh, oof. So what do you think, Don? Will you give us some money? I'm not going to give you any money, Zoran, because I think a bunch of government subsidies is a crappy idea. Let me get this straight. You have all this money laying around and you're not going to give me any? I guess the rumors are true. You're a fascist pig. No, I'm not.
Well, you are because you won't pay for the people of New York City to take the bus for free.
Quiet, Bernie.
Oh, hey, that's it.
Oof. Hey,
I hope Mom Dommy's
all right.
programs work out.
Donald Trump here is a fascist cheapskate, so we'll have to figure out another way to make money. Come on, you two.
Isn't it weird how infatuated Trump was with Mom Donnie when he showed up? That was pretty fucking crazy, right? Like, they're like all over each other. That was weird. And then they're like, do you still think Trump's a fascist? He's like, go ahead, you can say it. It's all right, buddy.
Why are we trying to normalize stuff like this? This is not...
Did you see where they wrote rape all over this?
That we see in the United States of America.
They wrote the U.S. Department of Rape, I think, and it says the U.S. Department of Raping, maybe, and then down here it says make America rape again.
Leaders, presidents,
vandalized,
whoever, but government leaders' pictures draped from government buildings. This is a picture, obviously.
This is very authoritarian looking, for sure.
You know who that is? This is draped over the Department of Justice, a government organization that is supposed to be an independent organization of the president, right? Like, this is not Trump's DOJ. This is not the president's attorney. It's not the president's DOJ.
I guess some Zans going, baby.
I'm curious. Can a Democrat answer this question?
All right.
I can answer your question, and I'm sure this is going to be very intellectual. So what do you got?
If the Democrat voter so much more.
Trump banner vandalized, maybe. They did a good job. It looked natural. At the DOJ. There was like, I know we should be able to recognize the pictures because there's ratchet straps everywhere. Make America rape again is what it said. I bet you the news story's got it. Beyond parody, Democrats criticized giant Trump banner Large Trump banner on new banner evokes. Large banner Trump unfurled. So, what did I see it on? I saw, ain't that a community note? Where did I see that at? Unless it was AI, I guess. It was pretty funny, though. I'll keep looking. Watch this video.
More smart and successful than Republican voters, then why is it that the Democrat Party believes you're too dumb, stupid, and poor to get an ID to vote?
Well, let me start.
Oh, it might be AI, but I found the post. Hold on.
Who the fuck ever said that? I'm assuming you're asking this question because of the SAVE Act, and honestly, this just shows that you guys don't even understand the SAVE Act and what it does. Like, have you read the bill? The bill largely has nothing to do with ID. Yeah, there's a provision in there that talks about ID, but that's not.
Oh, it does look like it's probably AI. Look at the ratchet straps. I saw somebody share it on Twitter and say, isn't that a hell of an IRL community note? U.S. Department of Rapist, Robert F. Kennedy Building, Make America Rape Again. It probably is AI. You're right. This ratchet strap is weird. Like, it's not going anywhere. I don't know. That's strange.
Not people's issue with the SAVE Act. People are already showing IDs to vote, and if you're registered to vote and you walk in with an ID, cool, you're good, right? But what the ID does not do, even the real ID that everybody seems to be saying, use your real ID, the real ID does not show citizenship. It only shows identity. Nobody's saying that anybody is too dumb or stupid or poor to vote. What we're saying is, for a lot of people, the SAVE Act puts a lot of provisions and creates a lot of unnecessary actions people have to take to be able to register to vote, because that is what the SAVE Act is about. It's about voter registration. And the real ID alone is not enough to actually prove citizenship to register to vote if you're not already registered. And then for women, for other communities, for adoptees, for a lot of people, it requires a whole bunch of extra crap to bring to register. Some stuff that can take months to get if people don't have, and they're very expensive. And right now, people are trying to figure out how to put food on the table and how to pay their fucking light bill. So who can afford to drop $300 on fucking passports and other documents? That's the problem. Anyway, I'll put this on a playlist so you can watch some other videos where I talk about the SAVE Act. But also, aren't you the same?
What do you think? What do you think the Trump administration has planned for the midterms? Like, they know they're down. They know it's bad. They've been caught several times saying, look, if they win, we're going to get impeached. They can't afford to lose. What do you think's coming?
Person that said this.
Voting is not a right. It is a privilege.
I promise I'm not trolling when I asked, do you regret voting for this? Oh, Good Trouble had a good video on this. Hold on. Why did his account not come up? There it is. That was weird. This one.
I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty pissed off right now. Why? Regardless of politics, every single American should be as well. Donald Trump just issued an executive order designating glyphosate-based herbicides as critical to
They're mad over Roundup.
Glyphosate, you know, the chemical at the center of massive cancer lawsuits right now. But now it's essential. We're told that farmers can't function without it.
Also made it illegal for local governments to warn about the dangers of these pesticides. Shit goes against everything I stand for and everything that we were told that the Maha movement stood for.
You mean to tell me that the billionaire that we elected, who then appointed a brainworm hosting heroin user as his Health and Human Services secretary, doesn't care about us as much as he cares about the millions of dollars that corporations are willing to pay him to protect their profits?
Liberty Vote has acquired Dominion Voting Systems, yes.
Oh my God! I'm having an exceedingly difficult. I'm having a fucking meltdown.
But it's run by a guy named Scott Leindecker or something like that. He's a former Republican something.
About this. Yeah, dude. Yes, we know. We've been done telling you this. They're going to spread Roundup on our fucking corn now. This is what happens when you dismantle the EPA. I don't know how to fucking tell you this. Yeah, but you know, like,
I can't believe their breaking point was Roundup. Like, I understand Roundup's bad and it causes cancer and we shouldn't be using it and we should have these restrictions around it as much as we can, used in limited, quantities, blah, blah, blah. And all around, I'm all against the designer fucking corn and fucking seed and shit business. Like, that's fucking insane. But their breaking point, all the shit that's happened, their breaking point's fucking Roundup.
We had to protect the women's sports. You know, it's a slippery slope. If we get out of this, I will never fucking forgive you people.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty pissed off right now.
Let's see what else he's got before we go. What's this?
I know there's a lot going on, but this is one of the crazier threads that you're going to start hearing about.
President Trump took a massive L today with the Supreme Court ruling that he, in fact, is not allowed to impose tariffs. They're going to have to pay all that money back, right? It's like
that's awful.
$240 billion. They're going to have to pay it back. But good news for me and for any company, because we already priced in tariffs, right? So you already raise your prices accordingly. People are already okay with it. And now we're getting that money back. So you basically just like double your margin in a day. So at some point this year, I'm probably going to get a check for
fuck them over even harder.
Well over 6 figures.
Okay, so just to clarify, this guy charged you more money to offset the cost of his tariffs. And now the government might have to refund businesses like this guy money because...
Yeah, Roundup is bad. I'll agree. And it causes cancer, does a bunch of things. But like all the shitty shit Trump's done, and they're like, Roundup, that's too far, Mr. Trump.
The tariffs were illegal, and instead of passing those refunds back to his customers, he's going to just pocket the money and double his margin.
And keep his prices high.
The crazy part about this is what if those refunds were leveraged in some sort of way? What if they were going to, in turn, make even more money for other people? Well, here's where it gets extra crazy. Cantor Fitzgerald, a financial firm run by the sons of Howard Lutnick, that's right, current Commerce Secretary.
They bought all of these promissory notes about the tariffs. Like, if the tariffs get overturned, you paid $1 million in tariffs, we'll give you $200,000 for this promissory note. And if they get overturned, we'll collect. But it doesn't look like they're going to. What are the chances they knew they would get overturned? And this was another big fucking pump and dump.
And Epstein philanderer Howard Lutnick offered to buy the rights to potential tariff refunds from companies for roughly 20 to 30 cents on the dollar. This mechanism allowed the firm to...
So again, let's say IBM paid $1 million in tariffs. We'll buy your tariffs, your responsibility to the government for those tariffs in the event they get overturned. We don't think they will, but we'll buy them for $200,000. IBM says, fine, we could use the money right now. It's an unexpected expense. Give us $200,000. They get this receipt. It gets overturned, and they rule that they have to refund them. Then Howard Lutnick's sons turn that in, and they turn their $200,000 or $300,000 into $1 million. Boom.
On the potential legal overturnings of tariffs championed by their father, who is currently the Commerce Secretary, and also Epstein philanderer. It kind of seems like this might have been the plan all along, to just extract more money from you and pocket it into rich motherfuckers like that first guy, and also our...
It seems like when you have money, it's so easy to make fucking money.
Current Commerce Secretary and his sons. Also, you heard Thousand Yard Stare here give away the game a little bit. He raised his prices because of these tariffs. You think he's going to lower them now out of the goodness of his heart? No, he's established that you and everyone else is willing to pay this much.
By the way, can someone explain to me how Arizona tea is still fucking 99 cents? It's been 99 cents since I was in fucking elementary school. What are they watering it down or something?
More. So prices are staying where they are despite...
Yes, they price the tariffs to you. You already paid it. They'll probably get a refund, and they will not be lowering prices. I can almost guarantee that. Unless there's an issue with like sales. Like they're like, oh, our sales dropped 60% because we had to raise our prices. If there's not a problem with sales, if they just been selling, we've been paying it, that's the way they do it, right? They're literally investing millions and millions of dollars, retailers are, to use AI to decide what is the maximum amount you'll pay for it. Like if we raise it 1 penny, but we're selling 10 billion units a fucking year, right? That's worth it. But if we raise it 2 pennies or 3 pennies or a nickel, then people won't buy it. So we can't do that. But we can go to 3.7 cents higher. Like they're spending so much more money trying to figure out what's the maximum you'll fucking pay for it.
Tariffs being removed. Do you understand that? Donald Trump continues to be the worst fucking decision for affordability for Americans ever, period. I know there's a lot going on, but this is one of the crazier threads that you're going to start hearing about.
President Trump took a massive L.
I got pennies, motherfucker. You think I was penny rich? I got pennies on pennies. I got stacks, dude. I've got some still rolled up. I got cents on cents. That's right. All right, guys, I'm out. Thank you all for the donations tonight. Thank you for the support, watching, shares, join the Discord. Come hang out with us tomorrow if you want to. I'll probably do a show tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. Yeah, I'll probably do a show tomorrow. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. I'll keep my stacks of pennies away from you guys, greedy motherfuckers. I didn't know you were going to react like that. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. We'll see you about the next one. Have a good night. Love you. See ya. Bye.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't
I got stacks.
balls to call out the people.
I bet you I got $8 or $9 worth of pennies.
Tell them exactly.
The fuck out of here with that.
Telling the rest of the world you don't have the fucking balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
Still waiting for the IRS to jerk the payment out of my account. Hope it don't go negative.
Wit in a 6 cents for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord.
Tomorrow, I'm coming in early to do updates. So if for some reason there's not a stream, just check Discord, because sometimes updates fuck everything up. But I've been putting off an update forever that I need to do. So I will be doing an update tomorrow. If for some reason that knocks out the stream, I'll put it on Discord. I need to figure out a time to stream to TikTok. I know a lot of you guys don't have TikTok, hate TikTok, this, that, the other, whatever. There's a lot of people that are getting a ton of views from TikTok and able to capitalize those into YouTube and Twitch views. So if I want the stream to grow, I'm going to have to do something on TikTok. I don't know. I might pick one day a week just to hang out on TikTok and talk to you guys, answer questions, and talk about topics maybe. I don't know.
I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16 and high on amphetamine with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and salute.
Debate mag, I could. I'm not
This is gonna be it.
I'm not like a great debater like the people that are like famous for debating, but
Stop. Fucking stop.
I'm good at research. So when I know the topic and shit, I can sit down and research. I can build a decent argument, I think. But
oh my god, damn it! Here we go. I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle.
I need that's what I need to stream is going to get Bert's fucking pawn.
Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Round 3. Down goes Nino. Please say it isn't so. Got him backed up on the road.
Yeah, it takes repetition. You're right.
Things are getting rocking. He was doing so well.
And
hands on his shoulders, they ring.
Yeah, takes repetition.
All news network do no damn research. They be working copy on Cox that came first, 9th inning, second string.
I would be more interested in someone coming on and making like an affirmative statement about something about Trump and then figuring out where they got that information from. Because I'm almost convinced that 90% of MAGA, their only sources of information are memes.
Meaning is bullshit. Will Bird motherfuckers out here busting the grifts. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
You don't have those guts because you're a pussy.
I'm going to charge everybody a penny to join.
Aviator glasses in your mother's basement.
I'll be a millionaire by 3026.
It's really pathetic.
Have a good night.